There we go. Happy Saturday, everybody. How's everybody holding up? Having a good day, good start, good sleep, good rest, good evening, whatever. I don't know. Fuck it, whatever. It's been 7 seconds. Whoop. Oh, dropped an F-bomb too soon. Oh, God. Whatever. Who cares? Anyway, how's everybody doing? Let's see. All right, let me make sure things are popping up. They are. All right, cool. Let this information sink in for a moment. We're getting 2 live-action How to Train Your Dragon movies before Matt Reeves' Batman. And what I just saw yesterday, I don't know if it was an official report, but there's things floating around now saying that Matt Reeves is no longer going to be the director for Batman 2, which is raising some alarm bells in my head, man. What's up? How's it going? Going well. I watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier for the first time this week. Well, hell yeah. What'd you think? What's up, D. Cole? And Cole. And Christian. I didn't call out by anybody's names. I just started reading shit. What's up, Emeries? How are you doing? Hey, Omni, I just got the Acolyte book, Wayseeker, earlier this week. A lot of things are making sense now. What if I told you that Kamir is in his late 40s to early 50s by the time of the show? I would be quite shocked, because the dude does not look that old. And maybe that's part of the draw. Dark side magic didn't do him any... like, seriously, like, look what it did to, like, Palpatine and everybody else. It definitely did him some favors, if that's the case. But I want to know what his skincare routine is, then. Let's see. What's up, Nikki? Made it to your live today. I missed the last ones. How are you, Omni? How was your week? The week was it was good. It was good. I'm doing all right. A little tired, but I'm doing all right. We had a guy out on vacation this week at work, so you know it's been a little bit busy during the day. I also, as much as I'm saddened that Andor is going away as a fan of the show, next week, dropping 3 episodes a week, I will be happy to see that aspect go away. So it's been busy but good. Busy but good. What's up, Temple? How are you doing? It's going good so far. Supergirl just wrapped filming and hoping Lanterns does too. Pretty exciting. I can't wait to see what they do with all that. You know, I saw the Peacemaker season 2 trailer yesterday. I didn't post a reaction to it, but I watched it in my own time. I'm excited to catch up with the gang, but like, I'm not gonna lie, like the little gag in the interview booth or interrogation booth or whatever with Hawk Girl and well, I'm blanking on his name at the moment. Guy Gardner. I don't know. Didn't I don't know. I have to see more. I definitely have to see more of them. But Sean Gunn as Maxwell Lord, I thought he was doing pretty good. I liked him at that. But you know, as far as everything to do with the main crew, I'm excited. I'm excited to catch up with him, and the little ending at the end of that trailer, I'm so curious about that. Is that how they're going to explain the new continuity? Or is that just something else going on? Who knows? What's up, non-binary lesbian reacts? How are you today? Happy Saturday. Hope all is well. All is good so far. What's up, Janie? How are you doing? I'm doing good. Let's see. I eat my dinner while I watch your live streams. Anyway, what's your favorite moment on Heartstopper so far? And which is your favorite character besides Nick and Charlie? Besides Nick and Charlie. Ooh, huh. I don't know, maybe... And we don't really have a lot of her, but maybe Tori, his sister. As far as favorite moment, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'd have to like run through it because there's a lot that come to mind right now, and it may just be recency bias, but the thing between Ajayi and Farouk really just warmed my heart all to hell. What's up, Scruffy Boy? Happy Saturday, gang. Happy indeed. What's up, Isaac? Just watched Thunderbolts yesterday. Loved it. I still haven't seen it. Are you posting Doctor Who today? It'll probably be tomorrow, because I've recorded it. I haven't edited it yet. I haven't even started that process yet, because last night I had to record a movie and then Doctor Who, and then by that point I was just too tired. Let's see. We got some gibberish in the chat. Not rice cake, but there's some gibberish in there from a Stanley. I don't know what the hell that's about. What's up, Rice Cake? How are you doing? We got Darkly here. Antgar, I hope you're doing well, and would like to ask, who would you cast for a live-action absolute Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman movie? It'd be so cool to see. I'm not familiar enough with the characters to really kind of go into that, I don't think. Except for how jacked and large Batman is, maybe Alan Richardson for that Batman if you don't get him for the regular one, but outside of everybody else, I'm not really sure. I don't even know what the Wonder Woman, the absolute Wonder Woman even looks like, to be honest. Absolute Superman, maybe Matt Bomer, I think would be good. What's up, Aiden? How are you? What's up, Logan? Jazzy's here. How am I and the lovely cats? Everybody's doing good. Mama Cat is finally back home. Reluctant as she is about it. She finally came back for the first time in it's like 14 days almost. Well, no, it was like 12 days or something like that. Never seen her. She finally showed back up on the back deck. I lured her in with some cat treats and shut the door behind her. She is back inside and hanging out with her babies again. But she seems fine, safe, healthy, and all that, but I have no fucking clue what she did for that week and a half. Falcon Soldier was good for the most part. It was at times. I loved Sam and Bucky together. Sam and Bucky were some of my everything to do with them in that show was fantastic, I thought. And the stuff with oh god, why am I blanking on his name at the moment? Fuck, hold on. Isaiah. I kept wanting to say Elijah for some reason, and I knew that was wrong. Isaiah. All the stuff with Isaiah, and then just John Walker was fantastic. He was a interesting character to explore. It's one of the reasons I do really want to see. I mean, one of many reasons I do want to see Thunderbolts at some point. It's just time has gotten away from me, and I don't know. I still have not seen any spoilers for it, except for, and this I don't know. I couldn't avoid it because of the marketing change about the title change of the movie. That's the only thing I've seen about the film so far. So I'm not sure what that's exactly about, but I don't know. I want to check it out at this point, but like I'm wondering if I should just wait and react to it on the channel now. But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, the Flag Smasher stuff, that I thought the conversation there was good, but they did some stuff with that storyline that didn't work for me. But for the most part, I really dug the show. What are we drinking today? Just some of my American honey whiskey. Did you like the drink last live stream? It was fine. The more you got to a lot of alcohol seemed to like settle towards the bottom of it because it was really sweet off jump, and the more it settled, the more I got through it, the more it just tasted just like alcohol, like intensely, and it was just kind of nasty after a little bit. I never ended up finishing it. Did I see the production teaser for Godzilla x Kong sequel? The title has been revealed. I won't say anything if you don't want to be spoiled if you haven't seen it yet. I have seen it. I did watch the teaser. Yeah, I'm curious to see what they're going to do next. But I'm always here for more Monsterverse, man. I love what they've been doing with all of that. Darth Plagueis' healthcare system. Hell yeah, man. It does wonders. How you doing? This is my first live on your channel. Welcome, Exodus Snake. How are you? I'm doing pretty good myself. Welcome, welcome. Last night I finished watching your Wednesday playlist. I'm looking forward to the next season as well. I can't wait. I'm super excited, especially since they said they're going to lean into more I was going to say Heartstopper because I was reading the next comment in my head. More horror. I can't wait to see them do that. Did you know that Heartstopper is making a movie to finish the story? Yes. I've heard they're skipping like 2 volumes of the webcomic though, and they're adapting the final volume. So that'll be interesting. That'll make more sense to me once I actually get to the end of what we currently have. What's up, Big Chill? How are you? I will say I like how Guy's wig looks a little bit better. That's fair. That's fair. I just want to see more of them than just these little pocket glimpses, you know, that in the trailers. I think the stuff with them, maybe specifically Guy, are the things I'm the most kind of concerned about, but I'm curious all the same. I like the Peacemaker Season 2 trailer. I'm so happy Nathan Fillion and Isabella she's getting a lot of stuff going on as of late, man. Aliens, Peacemaker, well, this entire DCU, The Last of Us and all of that as well. She's getting a lot of fucking work, man. Anyway, Isabella Senegal's gonna be Peacemaker Season 2, probably just for that scene though. I imagine they wouldn't be in, that might be the only time we see them. In what order do you think the other color lantern corps do you think they'll introduce besides Green Lantern in the DCU? I think very likely red. You could very easily say the Yellow Lantern Corps because they are nemesis of the Green Corps. But I really hope we get some Red Lanterns at some point. Let's see. What's up, the dog? How are you doing? What's up, King Yellow? How are you? First stream, welcome. For a second, I thought that was the Renegon, but it was an axe throwing thing. I want to do that. I've never gone and done some axe throwing. I really want to. We finally got a couple places around here that kind of do it. I've just not really gone out of my way to check them out yet. This year so far has been amazing for shows. Andor, Daredevil, Severance, and currently the Apothecary Diaries Season 2 has been so damn good. I don't even know what that... I've never heard of that. The Apothecary Diaries. But yeah, we've had some banger TV this year so far. What's up, JC? I did see that one theory about the ending part of the trailer is that the other Peacemaker is from the new DCU, and the one that we follow is from the DCEU, as he kills the DCU version and takes his place. That would be wild, but that would also make me a little sad in that way because he would be abandoning his version of his team unless they all jump universes. So I'm curious how they're going to go, how they're going to deal with that at all. Yes, Mama Cat is back. 2x8 of Andor was so insane. My God, absolute peak television. Yes, 100% agree. Do you think James Gunn could make a DCU that could match the old DC cartoons if everything is done right? I think it could. I don't know about match, because I think it'd be next to impossible to match the heights of the cartoons, but I think that this, if anything, would be the closest to being able to like touch the ceiling, like yeah, you know, give it a little love tap on the foot, you know. What's up, R. Brooker? How are you? Have I seen the Wheel of Time? I have not. You know, it's come up a couple of times, and I've mentioned this before, but I saw the first trailer for season 1. Didn't do anything for me. I didn't have, you know, I didn't read the books. I didn't think the trailer was very good, but I've heard really good things about the last couple of seasons, though. I think we're on they're on season 3 currently, I think, but I've heard great things about it. I heard the first season was a little rough, but it's gotten a lot better. But that's all what I've heard. Not gonna lie, you should watch it in theaters because it's way better in theaters. Plus, you can tell us all about it next Whining with Omni. We'll see. It's all about if I have time to drive up there and do it. That's the one major thing too. Hot take, I hate the name The New Avengers. Like, to me, it says old Avengers were crude. Look at the new one, hotness, you know what I mean? I mean, The New Avengers is a comic line as well. It's a separate group, separate team. So I get it. I get what they're doing with it. You know, if the original group isn't around, do what you got to do. But it just makes me, obviously, I haven't seen the film, but at the end of Captain America 4, the whole idea was like, okay, Sam's going to establish a new team of Avengers. So is this counter to his team? And what does that mean? Don't answer that if it's talked about in the show at all. Did I see the Peacemaker Season 2 trailer? I just talked about that. Agree about Isaiah Bradley. His story was heartbreaking and love what Sam did for him in the finale. Same. And his element of Cap 4 was also one of my favorites. Like, all of his scenes were some of my favorite scenes. And when I met Carl Lumley, I definitely imparted that. He was like my favorite part of that movie. Also had to immensely gush for his work in Fall of the House of Usher. Obviously, his voice worked too, but that was the main thing. Do you like the cartoonish direction with the Monsterverse is going, or do you prefer the more realistic take? At this point, I do like them just kind of go into the action, go into the two giant action figures just beating the crap out of each other. I kind of like it, though I did like the idea behind Godzilla 2014 and Godzilla King of the Monsters, where it was like, what if these creatures did exist? How would that operate? How would we react? And I loved the seriousness with which they took those films. However, they had a hard time making an interesting human plot, and it just always hijacked so much of what was going on. Even though in the 2014, I think it worked a little bit better. I don't know. I've got some mixed feelings about some of that, but I do like the serious approach, but I also love the dumb giant monsters just duking it out kind of shit. So I'm a little torn. We got both. We got a little bit of both, because when Godzilla X Kong came out, the New Empire, you know, that was some of that goofy kind of action-packed monster movie, and then we got the serious stuff with Godzilla -1 all in the same year. I have to wait until July to watch Andor and Tales of the Underworld because my grandma wants to watch it together, but she's in a different country, and I've gotten no clue on how to avoid the spoilers. Yeah, I don't know, man. If you're on social media, just add a bunch of muted words, and that's the best thing I can say. If you're here, you know, might have to tiptoe, you know, might have to be careful, because at least with Andor, I'm not sure if anything's going to come up specifically, but you know, there's always the risk of that. But we'll see. We'll see, man. Hope you enjoy it when you finally get around to it. I'll be watching Brave New World soon next. Hope that's good, or at least decent. For me, I thought it was pretty solid. You know, it wasn't without its flaws, but it was definitely, I think, one of the better, more recent Marvel movies. Godzilla Supernova will definitely involve space stuff. People are speculating either Gigan or Space Godzilla. Who would I want to see be the next villain? Out of the two, I would love to eventually get to a Space Godzilla, and a Space Godzilla has kind of been teased in the lore, like in the ancient cave drawings and all that kind of stuff, so they could definitely go that route. But before we get to that, I think that I really want to see this universe tackle Gigan. I really do. But either would be fine. It's cool to see Argus in the teaser. Love that organization. And now, what we saw in the teaser, that Rick Flag Sr. is in charge of Argus now, and he's now found out about what Peacemaker did. Gonna be interesting. Bro, I saw that you were live and assumed you were rewatching season 1 of Severance. Why did we make... Why? I'm curious, though. I'm not picking fun, but like, what made you jump to that conclusion? I'm so curious. Do you know that Isabella Merced played Dora the Explorer in live action? I did. I never saw that film, but I did see the trailer. May have even reacted to the trailer at some point. I can't remember. Never saw it, but I knew she was in that as the adult Dora or teenage Dora. I can't remember how old she was supposed to be in that. Let's see. Hello there. It's Mormon time. What's up, Sketch? Love the Apothecary Diaries. QQ. I love the first season of Wednesday. Can't wait for season 2. Same. Hell yeah. What was your favorite superhero jab in the Devil May Cry anime? Mine was the Human Torch one and the rich superhero joke. Maybe the rich superhero joke. I think that was fine. Honestly, until you mentioned them, I forgot that there was a bunch of those, or well, not a bunch, a handful. But I'd probably go with the rich superhero one. The R in the teaser lights up like the eye of Gigan would, so that could be a clue. I'm excited either way. However, a supernova was partially responsible for the creation of Space Godzilla. I don't want to get overstuffed, you know, but they could do both. But I always associate Space Godzilla as a singular entity, like a loner. Like Gigan is usually a precursor for Ghidorah in a lot of ways, but we already did that. Which I still don't like that we did Ghidorah so early. As epic as all of those visuals were, I do kind of lament that aspect of it. And also the fact that Rodan is out there. We got Godzilla and his main crew, and they haven't interacted since then. Like if we're talking about classical kaiju pairings and stuff like him, we've still never got Anguirus, so he's not shown up at all. He's been teased, but we've never seen him. I want to see him. I want to see the you know, his real posse, not Kong. I love Kong in this iteration, but I want to see Godzilla with his crew. No spoilers for Thunderbolts. MCU power scaling is broken, especially after Thunderbolts. A live-action Spider-Man Battle Royale MCU Spider-Man wins. His scaling is broken, and he is fought characters the other Spider-Man versions have. Okay. Spider-Man wins. That's true. I do agree with that sentiment. Let's see. Have you ever heard of that time I got reincarnated as a slime? That's an anime, isn't it? This sounds familiar. If not, it's really good. And I'm currently watching the English dub of it, and dubs can be hit or miss sometimes, but this one's a hit. Hell yeah, man. That's cool. I've heard of it, but I've never checked it out. What's up, Ginger? Sorry I missed the live stream last week. How you been? Been doing good. Finally trying to catch up on everything. I'm kind of already, well, not already, I'm kind of finally caught up. Well, once I get Doctor Who done this weekend, I will be caught up with all of my backlog after my trips and everything. What's up, Apocalyptic Fish? Hey, first time catching your stream. Been enjoying your Owl House reactions? Well, welcome. I'm glad you've been enjoying the ride so far. I'm sad we're getting closer and closer to the end, though. Who do you think is the villain of Godzilla? Oh, well, we just talked about that. Since it's more Godzilla focused, do you think they'll do Gigan Space Godzilla? We just went all into that. What's up, Nicole Johnson? How are you? Doing good. Let's see. Sam is establishing a new Avengers team. Miss Marvel is establishing young Avengers team after the Marvels or Miss Marvel show. She was with Kate Bishop, so I think everybody is making a new team. Got so many other teams. Haven't seen The Expanse on Amazon. I thought The Expanse was on Apple. Either way, no, I haven't seen it. It's a show many people sleep on, and I am one of those people. Is that Casey Jones in your profile picture? Is that the Stephen Amell Casey Jones now that I'm looking at it? I'm just curious. The Owl House episode was cute. I love seeing flashbacks of everybody, and I gotta say that principal creeped me out. Principal Faust, for sure. Saw Thunderbolts on Wednesday, took the afternoon off from work to see it. I love it. Hope you enjoy it when you get to see it. Well, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. A lot of people seem to be really digging it. Wheel of Time is really good once you get into it. So it's okay. It's probably like it takes a little while to kind of get its momentum, maybe. I know it's been a thing in the comics. I hate it there too. That's why I keep the name Thunderbolts. It's cool, striking. We're calling them New Avengers was going to constantly compare them to the OGs. I saw one of the posters do exactly that. Don't know if it was fan made or official or not, but their shadows were the original members, I think, in that poster, which does exactly what you don't like. You know, then in the comics too, you have the West Coast Avengers, East Coast Avengers, and you got all kinds of different Avengers. It's just like, it's a little too much. Come up with a new name. Yep, that's the Stephen M.L. Casey Jones. Nice. Let's see. The Apothecary is a historic anime that's set in ancient China. The main character is my profile pic. Okie dokie. Mao Mao. Also, she's my favorite anime female ever. Well, that's cool. I wouldn't know. I don't know who mine would be. It's a tough one. There's a lot. There's a lot of good ones, man. Might be a spicy take, but you know, Hinata is one of my favorite anime, like, women, period. So probably go with that, at least off the top of my head at the moment. Let's see. I think I missed the other live stream last Saturday. I was working, so I couldn't have made it. Well, you're here now, and that's what's important. Whereas, I know what you meant. I'm pretty sure I figured it out. They also released the first images of Oscar Isaac and Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. I'm excited. Also, love classic Godzilla and the new Godzilla. Same on both those counts. And I thought we had gotten, we probably got, I didn't see the new look, but I thought we had gotten one a couple months ago from him in that movie. Or maybe that was one of my weird dreams where I precognated that whole thing. Let them fight. Dude, that beautiful line, iconic, and lives rent-free in my head, man. FNAF Movie 3, Freddy's Pizzeria goes to space. Every pop culture franchise has gone to space at this point. That's at least what it feels like. Even Fast and Furious has gone to space. Yeah, dude, it's just the kind of franchise trajectory. Hell, the Leprechaun went to space. Jason Voorhees went to space. Like, it's just so weird that that's always the next trajectory. But yeah, you're not wrong. I guess I'll go back to living under a rock. Just take care of yourself. It's a battleground out there, man. Have I seen the Long Walk trailer? No, this is the first I'm hearing of this Long Walk. Man, that first episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5 was crazy. I hope my boy Fitz is okay. I also hope Fitz is okay. I have a sneaking suspicion he's somehow connected to whatever is going on with them currently in the future, but we'll figure that out. Do you believe that there will be a Creature Commandos live-action film because we have live-action Sergeant Rock in Peacemaker Season 2? Sergeant Rock is a completely different character who wasn't in Creature Commandos. We have Rick Flag Sr., who is in Creature Commandos, who is in Peacemaker. The Sergeant Rock movie was going to be a period piece, and they canceled that. Oh, there you go. Just one more post. Rick Flag, I mean. I think it'll probably stay animated, but who knows? We might see the characters pop up, but I don't think we'll get a standalone, because we're getting a season 2 of it. So I think the show itself will probably stay animated, but then we'll follow. Maybe those characters will cross over at some point in little appearances. There are rumors going around that Matt Reeves will finish writing the script and pick someone else to direct it because of health issues. If true, what are your thoughts on this? I just hope if it's health related, I hope he gets better. I hope he makes it through or whatever. And if they do continue going through with it, I hope somebody can pick up those reins and do just as good. That's all I was gonna say. Hope he picks somebody that can handle it. So that's what you got to do here instead of another Heartstopper reaction. So that's what you do here instead of another Heartstopper reaction? What do you mean? Or is somebody complaining that I'm not watching one show every day of my life? Algorithm showed your Severance 1-1 with a red live. Well, that seems like a big old fuck up on your browser's part or YouTube's part. That's weird. What do you think Cyril was about to do or say when he hesitated, being vague as to not spoil anything? I think he realized that he was unable to answer the question he was faced with. I think at that point he realized he doesn't know. Also glad they mentioned that the deal Coulson made with Ghost Rider, even if it was briefly, but sadly probably the last we hear of him. Yeah, it was good that they mentioned that. It was like, has this have anything to do with that? I would ask you that question too. That's the logical next leap to be like, is this anything to do with what you made a deal with? But yeah, it definitely seems disconnected. Have you heard of Record of Ragnarok? If not, it's essentially a tournament where every pantheon from Christian to Hindu come to fight for either the protection or destruction of humanity. No, I've never heard of that. That sounds interesting though. I want a Mothra solo film. She's my favorite. Mothra solo films, they have a very, very strong formula to them. Not that Godzilla doesn't either, but it's always the same thing. She dies. She dies every time. Every time. Every movie. I can't recall a movie where Mothra in her moth form survives a film. It's always death or narrow defeat at a self-sacrifice, and then a rebirth as the new larva or egg is born in her wake, and the cycle continues. Though for a lot of the Showa era, the one that was reborn, the larva Mothra, I don't think ever actually returned to Mothric form. Actually, it's New Empire she lives. I don't think she was alive in that because she was always glowing. I think that was like her spirit. But that's a different Mothra if that's the case. And there's still the other egg that we don't know what happened to. There was another Mothra egg up top that we don't know anything about. Let's see. This Doctor Who season was best to worst episodes for you. Not that any were bad, just best to worst. Probably... Uh, 4, 3, 1, 5. 2. Wait, shit. I completely excluded 2. 4. No. 3. Shit. What? Now I'm confusing the episodes. Hold on. What episodes? I'm getting my time because of where I've done two weekends in a row. I'm getting the numbers mixed up. Maybe 3, 4, 2, 1, 5 right now. Aloha from the West Coast. Enjoyed everyone's reactions to the last arc of Andor, but the peak was the horror for everyone. There were no winners in episode 3. Well, except the Empire, I guess. But in the end, it was a temporary win. Hello, Trouble. I got a lurk, but hope everybody and every kitty is having a good weekend. Lurk away, and welcome. Everybody's good so far. So far, so good. 3 series started in April. Doctor Who, The Last of Us, Andor. Who's winning best season so far? Andor. Like Andor, I think is smoking both of both of the other two at the moment. I have friends everywhere. Andor is winning for me. Last of Us is a very close second. Yeah. I'm right there with you. Though I think the gap between The Last of Us Season 2 and Andor is huge in my book. What's up, Rodrigo? Late to the party as usual, but I need to say I love your reactions. Always! You need to see the new Spider-Man series. Keep up the good work, man. Hell yeah. Hey, maybe when it gets closer to Season 2, I'll finally check it out, but we'll see. We'll see. I've heard nothing but great things, though. Am I going to see Lilo and Stitch in theaters? I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what's going to get me out to a theater at the moment. Definitely Superman, I think. Definitely Superman I'm going to go see. For sure. Likely Fantastic Four. And I can't just do one Marvel movie reaction and then not do the next one too, so maybe I'll still try to catch Thunderbolts in theaters while I can. Not sure. Let's see. Not gonna lie, at first when they announced Thunderbolts, I was not looking forward to it at all. Later, when I was going to watch it, only because of Florence, and now, after I've heard the reviews, some interviews I've heard, I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Yeah, every new trailer, I got more and more invested in the idea. Because like a lot of people, I was kind of like, I'll check it out. It's homework at this point. But I'm actually kind of like, let's go. Let's see. Came from your TED reactions. Loved it. Good work, Omni. Well, thank you. Well, when Season 2 comes out, we will be checking that out as well, for sure. Glad you stuck around. Also, the main character is Adam, and it's widely agreed that he would body both the universe of Hazbin Hotel and Helluva Boss. What are we talking about again? Oh, wait, Records of Ragnarok? I don't know, man. We haven't seen Lucifer at full power. He was playing with Adam in that. So who knows, man? We haven't seen a lot of these characters at full power. But also, I've never seen any of that. And we're also comparing American animation to anime, which anime gets fucking ridiculous. Look at Gurren Lagann. Fucking one of them grabbed a galaxy, a actual galaxy, and used a galaxy as a shuriken. Anime scaling's stupid sometimes. Let's see. Tomorrow, going to Monster Mania Con in Baltimore. Going to see the guy who played Art the Clown. I also want to see Mike Coulter, who is Luke Cage, and Vincent D'Onofrio, who is Kingpin. Are both of them going to be there as well? Interesting. I've never heard of Monster Mania Con, but I've heard that the Art the Clown actor is a really cool dude to meet. So get on it. Hope you have a good time. Yep, Stephen Amell. Let's see. Well, there was a lot of superhero teams in the comics, and by the way they're doing it in the MCU is kind of confusing for some people I know, which is understandable. Which I get. They probably I do think they probably should have avoided too much similarities between them to keep everything on track. What's up, Craig? Greetings from Liverpool. Not many great films so far this year, but I'll be very surprised if I see a film better than Sinners was. Are you planning to see it or waiting to do a reaction? It's just another one of those things where I wanted to go see it, heard nothing but amazing things. I've just not been able to make the trip. At this point, I might just do a reaction for it, because I do want to see it. And I don't know shit about the movie other than what was in the first trailer. That's it. I'm happy that Daredevil and Wolverine are going to be supporting characters in Avengers Doomsday. Are they? If they have, I haven't picked up on that. To be fair, Thunderbolts didn't pick that name. That's true. True. I guess. I mean, I assume so. I don't know why I said that. I don't know what I meant by that. Like, the name's Thunderbolts? Or the new Avengers thing? I don't know. I'm not sure the circumstances around the name canonically, so I guess we'll have to figure that out. What are some Disney or Pixar films you haven't seen yet? I like your Pixar reactions as they remind me of the first time I watched them. Well, I just recorded my reaction to Elemental last night, so that will be coming out probably. When am I trying to get it out? On the 19th is probably when it'll be on YouTube, and it should be on Patreon tomorrow, like for the full length. But I haven't seen Cars. I haven't seen Up. Like, I haven't seen any of the Cars movies. I haven't seen Up. I haven't seen... what else is there? I haven't seen The Good Dinosaur. I'm just looking through just Pixar movies. Oh, I didn't know Brave was Pixar. I've seen Brave. Okay, Google's thing is not helping. All right, I have not seen Monsters University, Good Dinosaur, Finding Dory, and that's it. Those are all the ones I haven't seen. Every other one I have. Let's see. What do you think will happen with Monarch Season 2? Kong, and would you prefer if Destroya was the big bad of the universe? How scary would it be if he, would he be? And have you seen the old original monsters in the... I've seen every original Monsterverse film. Every Japanese Godzilla movie I have seen at this point. Shin Godzilla was the last one I hadn't, and I did that reaction on the channel, what, last year, I think? So yeah, as far as like the Japanese Godzilla films, I've seen them all. All what, like 30 of them? How many Godzilla movies are there? $38. 33 Japanese. So I've seen all of those. But Destroy would be cool. I like Destroy is fine, but as far as big bads, and again, they already blew that potential. The big bad of the Godzilla universe has always been Ghidorah in my mind. And we already blew that load so early at this point. So who's left? Destroya would make sense, I guess, moving forward, or another Ghidorah, because as we know, like, there's multiples of these creatures sometimes. It could be another one, a bigger one, or just a Mecha Ghidorah, which I thought they were going to set up with the severed head and the corpse, but they didn't do that either. But yeah, I don't know, we'll see. I'm not a huge Destroya lover, to be honest. Hope you are having a wonderful day. How did you feel about Tales of the Underworld as a whole? I really liked it. I liked it a lot better than Tales of the Empire. Like, there's some elements of Tales of the Empire that I really dug, but for the most part, overall, it was all right. It's fine. I still think Tales of the Jedi is probably my favorite, but Tales of the Underworld was really, really good. I really enjoyed what they did with it. How do you feel about the Screamboat movie? Looks like trash, Steamboat Willie horror movie in the style of Winnie the Pooh horror. Yeah, I don't care for any of those types of movies, so I'm probably never going to check it out unless it's for reaction purposes. For what reason did Fast and Furious go to space? I think they had to hack or destroy a satellite, so they attached a rocket to a car and they shot the car into space. I can't remember exactly, but it was Tej and fuck, why am I blanking on his name at the moment? Shit. I want to remember this before I look it up, because I should know his name. Roman. I knew it was an R, but I couldn't find Roman for some reason. It was Roman and Tej that went into space to take out this satellite. And I think they ended up just crashing the car through it because of technical difficulties. and then they had to go up and retrieve them. Spoilers for whichever one that was. I think that was 9. Doesn't make a lot of sense why the next Hell of a Short doesn't release until next month, because it'll be Father's Day. Time, man, just time. Like when it will be ready. That's all it boils down to. If they could release it on closer to Father's Day, I'm sure they would try, but I just, with the way they've talked and everything that's been said, I imagine it's time. They're not going to just rush it out if it's not ready. Did you hear a Carrie show is in the works on Prime? I have, which is interesting. I'm curious to see what they do with that, because the story of Carrie is an interesting one. I really do. I love that tale. Mixed up. My bad. How are you, Omni? And how was Comic-Con for you? I didn't go to a Comic-Con. My last convention was Level Up Expo in Vegas. That was the last one. Sergeant Rock was in the animated show during G.I. Robots flashbacks. See? I don't even remember that. But yeah, that movie's canceled though, from what I saw. Let's face it, Batman 2 is not happening, and I kind of don't care about it, to be honest. Yeah, I've kind of lost a little bit of interest, so I don't know. If it comes out, I'll see it for sure, but I'm kind of like, if it doesn't, I'm not going to be super sad, unfortunately. Let's see. Yeah, I'm sorry, English is not my first language, but yeah. Do I have a release schedule on them? Yes, I do. It's every Tuesday. Heartstopper is every Tuesday. The only reason one came out Friday was because I was out of town the previous weekend, so it was just late last week. But Heartstopper is every Tuesday at noon, Eastern Standard Time. I hope Batman Part 2 will be a thing at some point. Just feels like they want it to be done as fast as possible for DCU Batman to appear, because Batman 2 delaying The Brave and the Bold as well. I don't think that's what's delaying The Brave and the Bold, but honestly, I don't know. Maybe they care about it. I feel like most people aren't going to give a shit about it either way. There's one, health issues. It also doesn't help that Robert Pattinson's he's said a couple of snarky comments about the delays as well. So I think tensions are probably pretty high at the moment to get this thing done and out of the way. Let's see. On the topic of spoilers, have you seen anything recently? I'm still upset over being spoiled over the whole first episode of Hell of Us Season 3 by thinking it was fan-made. What? I have no idea what you're talking about. There's hell of a spoilers out in the world. Whatever you saw there, I have no idea. I didn't even know there were leaks for that. Has been leaks floating around, but I haven't heard of anything real from the hell of a side of stuff. But like I mentioned with the Thunderbolts thing, just the title change, but that was all because of the marketing spoiled that. It wasn't actually people that spoiled that. That was actually Marvel and all of them that did. So that's the only thing I could kind of think of off the top of my head at the moment. Batman Part 2 is still definitely happening, I'm sure. We'll see, man. We'll see. You think Godzilla is going to get a final form because the designer of Evolved Godzilla is based on Kaioken, so the next one will maybe be inspired by Super Saiyan, and what form could it be capable of? I have no idea. That's a level of speculation I've gotten really nothing or no range to really go off of. The Kaioken inspiration, I can kind of get that with the color variant behind it, except for the slimming, because Kaioken increases your muscle mass as well. So they kind of did the reverse of that. If anything, it was more like Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. Or no, Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan is blue. Super Saiyan God mode, which does slim Goku down and has the red aura. So it's a little more like that to me, if we want to make Dragon Ball comparisons. And I don't know if this is real or not. I saw a photo or an image that was floating around of Godzilla with a green aura this time around. So they're going to that. It could be a legendary Super Saiyan. So I don't know. I have no idea. I really don't know. What are your thoughts on Sam Wilson recruiting his Avengers team off screen? Is that what's happening? Or is he not going to do, are we not going to see it? Is this confirmed information? Is this a spoiler? Or if they do that, is that the question? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind either way if he did. Honestly, I kind of could care less if we saw it or not. Who are you? Being the last words you hear. Damn, that sucks. Would you react to video game lore like StarCraft, Warcraft, Warhammer? I don't know, maybe. There's the Warhammer show's coming out, so I would like to be a little more familiar. I have watched some Warhammer lore videos. I know a lot of Warcraft lore because I played World of Warcraft for a long fucking time. StarCraft I've never gotten into. I've played like once or twice ever, never got into it. But I wouldn't be opposed to it, but it wouldn't be a focus by any stretch. Do you think Guy Gardner's scene in Peacemaker Season 2 trailer is before Superman or after? I'm going to guess before. I think he's going to get a new suit in Superman since he appears in Lanterns as a supporting character for Hal and John. We'll just have to wait and see, man. I don't know. I was thinking about that. I was like, where does this line up with Superman? I feel like Superman's got to be after, but I have no idea. Love Mothra. Me too, man. Me too. I'm still upset about the twin situation. The twin situation still annoys the piss out of me. Not only do the gods fight, but also their chosen heroes and champions like the Buddha versus Jack the Ripper. The show's insane, or rather the manga is, and got an animated adaptation, but it's bad. Also, the anime is bad. Okay. In case you want to know how bad the anime was, that it released recently makes old school Hanna-Barbera cartoons look like Spirited Away or My Neighborhood Totoro. That's a glowing review right there. Oh god. I have seen a few reactors really not like Doctor Who Lucky Day, but I liked it a lot. I really liked Lucky Day. I was really taken in with it. I never used to like Mon Mothma. I don't know why, but Andor made me love her. Maybe because I didn't know much about her, I guess. Yeah, dude. Andor has turned her into one of my favorite characters, and Andor has also turned Cassian into one of my favorite characters in all of Star Wars. Did you hear about the Ted animated show that's in the works? I have not. I have not heard of such a thing. Don't do it. I think this was when I mentioned the Lilo and Stitch thing. Would you react to Gaslight District if you haven't seen it? Myself, haven't seen it myself, but we'll watch it and try not to spoil it. I mean, I still got to get through Digital Circus before starting something else glitch related, but it's definitely on the table for sure. Superman and F4 are the only films I'm seeing in theaters this year. Not really big on anything else coming out, to be honest. Yeah, the film I'm anticipating the most, or the film that I just cannot wait to see, is The Life of Chuck. That's the film right now, the number one film I'm looking forward to at the moment this year. Second would be Superman, followed by F4. So far, I've only seen Mon Mothma in live action, and her character is fantastic. I know she's made some Rebels, and I can't remember if she was in Clone Wars. I know she's in Rebels, but very minorly. But yeah, I don't know. Wayseeker takes place 20 years before The Acolyte. I haven't finished it yet, but it already helped explain Venestra's personality on the show and her decision to cover everything up. Cool. Maybe I'll get around to reading that, because like I've said before, The Acolyte had a lot of things I found really interesting. A lot of the ideas were really interesting. The execution just did not work for me at all. Great fight scenes though. And Khmer, though, was my favorite part of that show. The Stranger, badass villain. His look, his skill set, The fight scenes, all stellar. Everything else around that, not that great. So I do want to know more about him, at least, as a character. Hope we see Robbie Reyes in the MCU one day. How cool it'll be for him to meet Frank, the Ghost Rider, and the Punisher teaming up to take out the guilty. That would be pretty badass. Not gonna lie. Do you ever purposely skip a theater release because you want to make a reaction video to it? I did that with Creed 3. I skipped it in theaters because I had just done all of the Rocky franchise, including Creed 1 and 2. So I did skip Creed while it was in theaters and reacted to it here on the channel. I did do that because I just thought it would be weird to, you know, have done the entire franchise and then not done that. Inside Out 2, because I already had reacted to Inside Out 1, I did skip in theaters and reacted to it when it came out. See, was there anything else that I purposefully skipped? I don't think so. Like, I had no interest in watching Furiosa in theaters, period. But then I started the Mad Max trilogy, and it eventually led me to that anyway. Those are the only ones. Like, I'm just looking through movies I've reacted to. That's the only one that I would say. Well, no. Mission Impossible. What was the last one? Dead Reckoning. I skipped because I reacted to all of the MI films. And then I reacted to that with John on Real Rejects. Still haven't talked to them about if we're going to do the second half of that together as well. Be weird, in my mind, to have done the whole thing and then one over there, or what was originally half of a movie over there, and then it'd go back on this channel. But I don't know. I got to talk to Greg about that, Greg and John, and see what they want to do. Those are the ones that at least come to mind at the moment. But it is, I try to prioritize the theater when I can, but it's been really hard this year for whatever reason. Last episode of The Last of Us Season 2 was so good. Love Isaac's backstory. He was always an interesting character to me, and the leaders in the Apocalypse stories are always interesting. I agree. I second that as well. Getting to see more of him. If you haven't seen Sinners in a theater yet, do that instead of Thunderbolts. We will see. Really looking forward to Lanterns next year, though despite my skepticism, I hope that Hal doesn't get sidelined by John, and that both get a lot of love in the show. Plus, Sinestro was cast as well, in my opinion. I didn't know Sinestro was cast. As well as Atan, who seems to be atrocious. Hopefully it's great, because Green Lanterns could use some good adaptations. Agree. You seen the GTA 6 trailer too? I have. What are your thoughts on VTubers in general? I get it for like the person behind the screen. You want to have some kind of avatar for people to feel like they can connect to or interact with. I just can't watch VTubers. I can't make that connection with the avatar for me. Honestly, I make more of a connection with somebody if I either, one, I see them, or two, I don't at all. Like a voiceover, like with Vinny Vinesauce and like other people like that, where most of the time, I mean, like he's been on camera before and, you know, for little gags and stuff like that, but like for the most part, it's either or for me. The VTuber and the disconnect, the lip sync, the all the kind of stuff, and the offness of the animation, the movement, something about that just kind of checks me out of the experience personally. But I understand why people go to it. It is a nice compromise and an in-between for some people, because some people don't like watching faceless streamers as well. So it's like a middle ground. But for me personally, it just, I don't know, the maybe when technology like boosts further and it's less jarring maybe I'd be more attuned to it, but right now, like, I have this like mental block when it comes to it. I have watched a couple, but I couldn't tell you their names. I have watched a couple. There was one reactor on YouTube. I watched some of their videos because they were reacting to the music of Kingdom Hearts, and I found that really interesting. But as a general concept, I usually am not drawn to it. You know, Saitama can beat anyone with a punch, but Gurren Lagann is insane. I understood the reference. Fair enough. But yeah, the Saitama thing is like, I would love to know if there actually is a limit for his character, because it's a ridiculous idea, and that's kind of the point. It's kind of Looney Tunes with a punchy guy. Also, him casually throwing 2 grenades into a truck full of soldiers was darkly funny as shit. Yes, it was. That was, like you said, darkly hilarious. I got a kick out of that. I really hope the quote, "I have friends everywhere," takes off. Dude, I want to just say that to people just in passing now. If you could choose, would you prefer to be trapped in a cursed painting or a cursed snow globe? Live full lives as long as you could survive in the era represented there, but never escape. Maybe a snow globe. I think a snow globe would be better. More acclimable. Whatever. You know what I was trying to say. It's good to see Rick Flex Sr. walking after what Clayface did. That's true. Forgot about that. That was another thing I thought too, was the Peacemaker thing when he walks in at the end of the trailer and sees himself. My immediate reaction, well, it was more of like a response to my own, because I was like, oh, multiverse? And then second, I was like, Clayface? Is it Clayface? At the end of May, I will be attending Monsterpalooza in Pasadena, California. Shinichi Wakasa will be there. He was a sculptor and makeup artist that worked on some of the classic Godzilla movies. That's cool. That's really cool. I know a lot of the there's oh shit, what's it called? Shit, I can't remember, but in Kentucky, there's a horror convention every year. I can't remember what the hell it's called at the moment. But a lot of people go to that, and they've had a lot of Godzilla people there, like that worked on the suits and the monsters and stuff like that in attendance. God, I can't remember the name of the convention. It's one I want to go to, but it's like a really, really popular East Coast horror convention. Would something to a demon called Astaroth in Hazbin Hotel, because he said there's so much missing from this sentence as far as words go. He said to, I assume, be under Lucifer in power and demonology. Would you check out the anime Black Clover? It's very cool, even if it's not finished. Black Clover. That sounds familiar. Oh, yeah, no, never mind. I know, I've heard the name, but I do not recognize this at all. I don't know, man. As far as anime, dipping my toes back into that world, again, I've seen a shit ton, but I haven't. The last new anime I watched, like real anime, was Attack on Titan. Finished that. That's it. But who knows? We'll see. Watching you in my Samsung refrigerator. That is insane if true. That's wild. The guy who's Art the Clown also played Screamboat and the Grinch in the horror movie The Mean One. Interesting. Oh, you haven't heard of Monster Mania Con? Well, it's basically a horror con, like Comic Con, but horror. Also, Devin Sawa is going to be there as well, who is from every Chucky season of the Chucky show. Yeah, I did see him. He's on the listing for one of the Galaxy Cons I was going to go to, and yes, he was also at the recent horror convention I'm talking about. But yeah, I'd love to meet him at some point. Elemental is a great movie. Grab lots of tissues for Up. Now, we'll say I've not seen the movie Up. I have, however, seen the intro. That whole bawling your eyes out opening sequence, because everybody was talking about it. So back when that movie came out, it was a little while after it came out, that section was on YouTube, and I remember watching that. And yes, very heartbreaking. But as far as the entire movie, I've never seen it. Have I seen the, there we go. Have I seen the opening sequence of Up? Yes. Because I feel like everybody has seen it at that point. Yes, I have. I like Cars 1. It's actually a really good movie all around. Cool, interesting. What? You haven't seen Cars or Up? Cars is my childhood movie. And Up is phenomenal too. Up is amazing. Love Cars. Cars is great. Up is great. Hope you watch Win or Lose. It's fantastic. Let's see. You're close to finishing Owl House. Season 3 only has 3 episodes, I think, because I think Disney unfortunately canceled it. I think after season 2 it was canceled. My understanding, it was canceled. They pushed back the fandom and the people behind it and gave them, I think, 3 episodes to close the story, I think, is my understanding of what happened. The Good Dinosaur is a good movie. Sobbed my eyes out when I first watched it. Good Dinosaur makes me cry. Maybe one of these days I'll check it out. I remember when the trailer came out, I wasn't a fan of the aesthetic, but it's definitely not off the board. I've only seen Godzilla -1. Godzilla -1 is a masterpiece. It is really fucking good. It's just Jaws with a giant monster at the end of the day. It is very Jaws inspired. You can definitely tell, but it was a fantastic movie. Fantastic movie. I love serious Godzilla, like taking it back to its roots, the original 2 Godzilla movies, I would say, and also just depending on which version of the original film you want to talk about, which 1954 film. But I love the way they tied all that together. I love when Godzilla's serious. I also love when it's goofy, though. I just love Godzilla in general, I think. Good Dinosaur is a cute movie. Who would you want to be the first big bad of James Gunn's universe? First big bad? I don't know. We already did Starro, so we can't really go that route. What is it? What are they called? Fuck. Why am I blanking on their names right now? The aliens from the Invasion crossover on the CW. It starts with a D. What was it called? I want something out external, something alien first. That's kind of what I want. Like, as far as the world, something off of Earth from outer space. I can't remember. Destructors, what is it? Dominators. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I would like maybe something akin to that, something similar, maybe even White Martians. You could do that, and that could be your way to bring in John Jones if he's not already in the universe. Something alien. What's up, Cody? How are you? 38? Well, I have 1 on my channel, so almost done. Yeah, you're almost there. Am I expecting any Stranger Things season 5 footage at Netflix Tudum event? Yes, it's on the list of shows they're showing off for Tudum, so I would expect to see something. I think at the very least we're going to get a teaser trailer. At least I'm excited for your react to Gravity Falls. Great show. Well, we're almost there. What? I don't remember what that was in reference to. That Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode was something. Same as when you went, same as you when that monster killed that guy. I jumped, was so unexpected. Oh yeah, that came out of nowhere. Oh, I think that was, yeah, the car. Shooting the car into space when we talked about that. I've seen 2 Fast and Furious movies. Woo! I really like a lot of them up to 7. 7's my favorite. You know, I might be a little biased because it's when Paul Walker passed away. But 7's probably my favorite. But I love the original movie. I think Tokyo Drift is heavily underrated. I do like Tokyo Drift. 4, 5, 6, and 7 are all really good too, I think. 5's really good. Let's see. Also, Isabella was in Madam Web, unfortunately. Was she? I don't remember that. I've still never actually sat down and watched that movie, though. I forgot. I've just blanked out that movie. I can't remember everybody that's in it. What's up, Miavar? How are you? They went to space in Fast 9. It was 9. I have the hots for Isabella. She is so beautiful. Oh my god. Understandable, Ginger. Understandable. 3 episodes of Andor left. Who do you think dies next? And do you think we'll wrap up Mon's story with Lita, Val, or Perrin? That's a good question. I don't know. As far as like who's Mon's story is gonna wrap up with. Hell, Perrin might just be off on his own at this point. So I don't know. But I would assume we'll get some. I don't know, man. They're both active in the rebellion at this point. Val might just be around. Maybe Lita. Maybe at least something with Lita. But I would hope that there's some kind of reaching out to her family in some way. As far as who dies next, I do not see Luthen making out of this at all. Out of the show at all. So at this point, with what happened at the end of what happened at the end of this last arc, I do think it's definitely plausible or possible for more people to survive this than I thought. Let's hope we see Mecha Ghidorah, and it would be funny if the Ghidorah we saw wasn't the real one, like the real one is yet to arrive, or was like a baby one. Now that would be terrifying if it was a baby one. You notice the Monsterverse pattern of old and MV only monsters. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I have a theory about Has-Been. Lutz VA said she wasn't going to a convention until HH2 was released. That is not true. That is not true. I've heard a lot of people echo this. That is not what she said. I seen the video that people were referenced, and that is not what she said. She said she will certainly be back on the convention circuit around season 2, because obviously they're going to be going around and promoting it. But that does not mean, and what she said as well was, because of time. Time is what limits her ability to go to these conventions. Because she's in one in just a couple weeks. She's in another one in June. She's in another one in July. She's not going to conventions. She hasn't been. I mean, she was just at a couple of conventions a few weeks ago. Like, she's been attending cons. What she said was she's been busy, so she's not been going to as many. But she will definitely be everywhere when she's out there promoting season 2. So a lot of people took that as she will never be at a con until season 2 is close to coming out. And she's going to be in a con in just a few weeks, and we don't even have a trailer for the show. So that already makes her that train of thought moot. So she's got a con appearance in June. She's got a con appearance in July. So like I've seen a lot of people online just take that and run with it, and it's not true. There's no way. Otherwise, we would have already at least seen a trailer by now. Because the reality of it is she's busy, so she's not at as many conventions. Not that she's swearing them off. So I just want to temper people's expectations real fast about that. What's up, Roberto? How are you? I'm doing good. I haven't seen The Batman. If there is no sequel, does it end on a cliffhanger, or can I watch it fine? It leaves open-ended, as it's like the start of a journey for this Batman. But It's got its own post-credit scene as well. There are hooks, there are stuff to imply what is to come, but I don't think it doesn't end in a way where it's like, oh, we have to figure out what happens next. You know, there's a lot that can be implied, but I don't know. It does leave a lot open at the end. Like, the story it tells is done by the end of it. But the ramifications of the story echo on. You can watch the Batman fine. Yeah. What kind of show / movie do you hope Tyler Hoechlin is in next? He's a good dad and a good funny guy. He's also quite fierce. Diner scene. I'd love to see him in something fantasy related. Well, that would be really cool. I don't really know. I really don't know. I would hope it's not. And this might unintentionally be throwing a little shade. I've never seen it, so don't take this seriously. Something that isn't just this smutty romance novel kind of stuff. I'd want to see him in something else. Maybe horror, maybe something thriller related. Something I would be drawn to. Not sexy werewolf monster stuff. I don't know if the Batman Part 2 will be canceled or not because they keep delaying it. Robert Pattinson is joining in on Dune Part 3. Yeah, it's getting real messy, isn't it? Let's see. I've been putting off watching Rogue One till the last 3 episodes. Can't wait. Have you never seen it? Have you never seen Rogue One? Because that's going to be interesting. What's up, Hazel? How are you? Are you excited for the next episode of The Last of Us Season 2? I'm curious if we're going to go straight into Lake Hill or not. I feel like that's got to be... See, I would imagine that's got to be penultimate or final episode of the season kind of thing, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Which school would you rather go to if you were a student? Hogwarts or Hexside? I think I would be surprisingly... Well, I don't know. I'm trying to say which one would be safer, but they're both very dangerous. I trust the Hogwarts teachers more than I trust the teachers of Hexside. I might have to lean with Hogwarts. Kaioken was brought up in the image, has brought to the image of mind of Ken from Barbie movie as a Saiyan. That's interesting. That's kind of funny. Maybe you should put no spoilers for Thunderbolts again. Maybe. I just will put it in my header until eternity, until I finally see it. It's fine. If something happens, it happens. It's confirmed that Peacemaker Season 2 is set, I think, after Superman. Well, that's interesting. That's Goku Black, Super Saiyan Rose. Now, I'm talking about Super Saiyan God, which is red. The aura is red. Base Super Saiyan God mode is what I was talking about. Now, you might be saying that the aura for Godzilla is based on Super Saiyan Rose, but the connection to Goku Black doesn't make sense in my head outside of just the color. Because Goku Black doesn't lose body mass by going Rose, because that's just his version of blue, of Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. He's not using Super Saiyan God. Anyway, whatever. We're getting into some, what do you want to call it? The fine details of Dragon Ball Super. just in case. The hell of a spoiler was a really long TikTok video. I'd expand on it more, but for obvious reasons, I won't. I would just take any of it with a grain of salt, because as far as I'm aware, I don't think there's anything floating around. But if there is, yeah, definitely keep it to yourself. After years of strikes, the money problems caused by streaming services and the scheduling issues due to Panini, where we're on the scale of, oh, F me, will tariffs hit? So much filming is still on location. Yeah, I'm very concerned about how all that's all gonna go. Diego Luna, yum. Diego Luna, he's a handsome, charismatic man, dude. I have a theory that season 2 of The Last of Us will be all focused on Ellie and Dina's adventure, and season 3 will focus mainly on Abby and her team's perspective. At this point, I think you're probably right. I mean, that's how the game did it as well, which was part of my issue. But right now, it seems like we're on track to do exactly that as well. Any plans to come to Washington State for SummerCon or Emerald City? Emerald City is something that's kind of come on my radar. I don't know if I'd be able to attend this year at all. I've never heard of SummerCon, so that's something I'll have to look into. Because I would like to try to go to some different ones and not just Galaxy Cons on end. That's just easy because there's 3 within driving distance of me. That's 5 hours or less. And also, after I realized how quick and easy that I have a direct flight to Chicago, I would love to try to go. I can't go to this one coming up, but maybe the next Fan Expo in Chicago would be cool. It's not getting much attention in advertising, but are you going to react to Ironheart regardless? Regardless, probably. More than likely. Just because I've reacted to every other live-action MCU project, for better or for worse, so probably. Am I going to play Doom: The Dark Ages? No, not at all. Nope. Love Doctor Who's Lucky Day episode. I just despised Conrad, Ruby's BF. Dude, he was one of the most vile characters we've had in the Doctor Who universe in a really long time. How do you decide what new movies you're going to react to? It basically just boils down to whether or not it's tied into a legacy of shows or films that I've already watched. Like, is this a new Mission Impossible movie? Is this a new Rocky film? Something where I've already done all of the series on the channel. I would kind of want to do the next one on the channel as well. Because for me, it'd be, I like the consistency of that. So if I've already started covering the franchise, I would like to keep covering the franchise. Not if somebody's going through the playlist and they're like, oh, reaction for all of these movies, and then they get to the new one and it's just a review. I feel like that would just be, if I was the viewer, I'd be a little perturbed about that. So yeah. So it's just that, and then just word of mouth, or if it lands on the poll, or I feel the need to try to get to it as soon as it drops on streaming and I missed it on its initial run. It just really depends. There's a couple different factors. Sometimes it just boils down to, do I feel like going to the theaters to watch this thing? Is this something I want to go to the theater for? For me, I need to go to the theater, or when I go to see a movie in the theater, I want the theater experience to boost the movie. So blockbusters, things that benefit from a large sound system, a large screen, like something that I feel like is boosted by being in a theater. And sometimes like you're a little drama or a comedy or name another genre of film. Sometimes I just feel like that is not enhanced at all by the theater experience, and sometimes, and most times in my case, are better enjoyed at home. So it just really depends. If I'm going to theater, it should be a spectacle or utilizing greatly the idea of what a theater offers. Anyway, that's my frame of mind. Anyway, Let's see. I have a theory that Cassian and Val will rescue Perrin from a detention center for Mon, and that will be his introduction to the rebellion and Val's death. But don't know about Lita. I don't know, man. Who knows? I feel like Perrin would not get involved with the rebellion in the slightest, but who knows? We might get surprised. I never noticed that a lot of characters in Helva have daddy issues as their primary motivation. Seems like someone on the writing staff is working through some things. I feel like most people have daddy issues. I do. I know a lot of the cast does. I'm sure a lot of the writers do, but I mean, it's just common. It's like a lot of our trauma is rooted in how we were raised, regardless. So yeah, I mean, have we seen a healthy dad? Like birth father? I don't think so in the show. Well, Millie, like they're still a tight-knit family, but it's like in that way that like they have these expectations of you and how that can kind of weigh on your shoulders. So it's not the best of things, but that's the healthiest family dynamic I think we've actually seen in the show. As far as like family. You need to react to Enola Holmes if you haven't already. I reacted to the second film. I have a reaction to the second film on the channel. The first film I have a full length for on Patreon, but I don't have like an edited version of it for here. So yeah, I mean, you can watch my reaction to Enola Holmes 2, and I have a review for Enola Holmes 1, but on Patreon, you can see my full-length reaction to the first film, but it's just not on YouTube. But I can't wait for Enola Holmes 3, though, because I really like those movies. I haven't seen Thunderbolts, but I know the post-credits scene is going to be wild. Maybe if you have some time off, you can see it. That's the goal. I've heard the post-credit scene is worth the ticket alone, but the movie is really fucking good. Have you ever watched Birdcage with Robin Williams and Nathan Lane? No, it's on our poll. It got close to winning last month, but it did not last month, the month before last, and then it wasn't really close in the running this last month, but it's still there. It's still getting votes, so it might come out eventually. I've never seen it. I love Nathan Lane, and obviously I love Robin Williams, because how could you not? I really do want to see it. I've heard about it, but I don't really know the ins and outs. But I definitely hope it finally wins one of these days. I will say something positive of record on Ragnarok. The designs of the gods and the champions are absolutely stellar. Like, look up Buddha and tell me he ain't a fashion icon. He looks like a Street Fighter character. I don't know about fashion icon, but it is not a design I would have expected. Let's see. Also, Adam in Record of Ragnarok fights against Zeus with nothing but some brass knuckles and beats him. It's both hilarious and awesome. Let's see. What's up, Axel? The reason why I assume Khmer is in his late 40s to early 50s is because Vanestra mentions having a failed Padawan 10 years before the book. Well, seeing how skilled he was and how much she fears him, you know, we know Padawans are... I mean, you're a Padawan anywhere from like 8 to 20, so it's hard to say. Depends on how fast he escalated, if he ever went through his trials. Well, obviously not, because he failed as a Padawan, but failed as a Padawan. So it just really depends. At most, maybe late 30s, if we want to be at the youngest based on that, I would imagine. To see the teaser trailer for Squid Game Season 3? I have. I am so scared about how this is going to go and how this is going to end, but I cannot wait. Can't wait to watch the Predator Killer of Killers and Predator Badlands. I hope this is a new start of good set of Predator movies, and I hope we get a good AVP movie without humans and Predator Killer Kills 2. I mean, Prey, I think, was the start to a new set of good Predator movies. I just hope they keep that momentum going. Prey was amazing. And same people executive producing all of these new projects, so I hope so. Who do you think will kill Thanos' friend, MG Coin or Minsu? I hope Minsu, but we will see. Probably not MG Coin. Minsu needs to do something. Ulrich Thompson was cast as Sinestro, and Paul Ben Victor got cast as Anton, who might be Atrocious, as his description sounds identical. Atrocious is the leader of the Red Lanterns, if you remember him. I do. Yeah, so that excites me if we could potentially get more of the Lantern Corps. That would be awesome. Also, Buddha's personality is perfect. He's just like, look, I'm trying to get through all of this and I don't really care. I'm just going to suck on lollipops. But if you don't want to fight, let's do it. Doesn't sound very Buddha-like, but they do what they're doing, man. Do you think that Gyun's plan on letting the ex-players die was stupid? No, I mean, I kind of get it, but it is kind of counter to what they were doing. But as fucked up as it was for him to do, I think that was realistically the only way to get out of there and do what they did. Thompson was great in Banshee, the show with Anthony Starr. Never seen him. Who is this guy? Ulrich. Why does that not come up? There you are. Oh, okay. I'm not sure if I've seen him in anything, but the face looks familiar. That works. Another thing about Adam is he perfectly ate the forbidden fruit when Eve was about to be cast out, so that they both got cast out and could spend the rest of eternity with each other and their kids. Dad of the freaking millennium. That's an interesting way to look at it. The anime that my house has been enjoying is Solo Leveling, eagerly awaiting season 3. I've been hearing that seems to be like the anime everybody is talking about right now. I have no fucking clue what it's about, but they had their own booth at Level Up Expo. Like there was a whole thing for Solo Leveling. But yeah, I don't know. For questions for Has-Been Hotel of Michael does appear in the show, do you think he will look exactly like Lucifer? I hope Michael. This might be a little vain of me that Michael makes an appearance in the show in some way, shape, or form. I mean, in biblical lore, he is the angel that cast Lucifer out of heaven, because he was also the leader of heaven's armies, the right hand of God, all of that. So, you know, once the order was canon, it was him that fought against Lucifer and cast him and his legions out. So it'd be cool, and it'd be fun to see what they do to play with that lore, because you know they're gonna play with it, and I think it would be really cool to play with it. I don't know why you would make them look exactly the same. Lucifer was the first. It's not like they were twins or anything. I mean, we know that the angels don't all look the same. So who knows? They could do whatever they want, but I would be very curious if they did an Archangel Michael in the show. For obvious reasons, my namesake's my dad, but my namesake's yeah. So yeah, I would be very curious to see if how they would handle all of that. I'm back from Thunderbolts. I liked it. Okay, bye. Have a nice stream. Thank you, Sean, for reporting in. Do you still wish they released Andor weekly, or are you okay with 3 episodes now? No, I understand why they're doing it. If I did not have to cover it, I think I'd be a little more okay with it. But it has been a bitch doing this every week. But I get it. I get it. I understand the release structure because they are 3-part movies, basically. Like one movie broken into 3 parts every week. I get it. I don't know if that structure would work weekly. I mean, I think it could. I think they know the fandom, or at least a lot of the fandom, isn't as patient as we learned with season 1, but it wouldn't bother me in the slightest. Like, I get it, it makes sense, but we'll see. What other time period would you want to see a Predator Killer of Killers 2? And what era fighters would you want to see the Predator face in theirs? I don't remember which all ones were shown in the Killer of Killers trailer. So I can't exactly say, because I can't remember all of the ones that were depicted. Like, I would love like a samurai era thing, but I can't remember if that was already in the first trailer for Killer of Killers. Yeah, I don't know. Not sure. Cars and Cars 3 were awesome. You can miss 2. Well, okay. Devasaw was an amazing actor. Fell in love with him over 20 years ago when I was a teen. I only just started to find out that he was in a couple of movies and stuff when he was younger that I wasn't even aware of, because I didn't know who he was yet, really. Between Land Before Time and the ending to the show Dinosaurs, child dinosaur things have traumatized me. Very understandable, especially Land Before Time. But I love those movies, man. For a long time, I watched them. I think up until the 6th or 7th one, and then I just kind of like, okay, this is getting a little ridiculous. But the first 3 I really, really like. The first one though is a classic. Gonna watch the new Final Destination movie that's coming out next week? No, not in the slightest. I don't give 2 shits about that. One thing that perked me up about it though was Breck Bassinger is in it, so that's something I learned that I thought was really interesting. But I watched the first Final Destination movie, and that was it, and I never wanted to watch another one after. Well, that wasn't because of that movie. I like that movie. It was the opening 10 minutes of 2 that made me turn it off, and I never watched another one since. Cars 2 is so goofy, it's almost amazing. Legion of Doom. So I actually went and rewatched episode 7 of Squid Game season 2, and I saw that some of the O players did die during the night fight. Okay, interesting. Want to see Vandal Savage? Vandal would be good. Crime Syndicate might be a little early, but who knows? Dominators. Love the Sinestro as the big bad of Sinestro Core. Wars was a big deal. Comics back in 2000s. Gaming Ellie or Potato. Okay, we're not doing any of that. That's, yeah, no. Let's see. Wait, Netflix has an event called Tadum? That's actually genius. You misspelled it, but Tadum. There you go. There you go. Let's see. I can't wait for season 2 trailer of One Piece. Me too. I hope we get that. I forgot. I hope we should be getting something for that sometime soon too. Why do so many anime series have so many episodes? It's always in the 40s. I mean, that's what it takes to tell some of the stories sometimes. They're 23 minutes. I don't know. You can't, it's not like an hour long thing, you know? So like it's not One Piece where it's not done and it's got 1100 and ongoing episodes. What are we at? Like 1140 something right now with One Piece. These last three episodes of Andor were awesome. You can connect the events of Mon Mothma's speech to her appearance in Rebels Season 3. Yes, you can. I lost my other eye candy in Last of Us. I found someone else. It's okay. You dropped one, and somebody comes in to take that spot. I get it. Gotta get going. Thank you for the chat. Watching your reaction content is like watching, laughing, and crying with a friend. Take care, Omni, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. You do the same, and thank you so much. What's up, Tolga? First time catching you live. Hi from Turkey. Shouts out to you over there. Hope you're doing well. Welcome. Have I seen Blood of Zeus? Season 3 just came out. I have not. Still have Gabriel Luna. Hope for a while. We do have Gabriel still. At least. What's up, Dion? How are you? Speaking of has been, season 3 just wrapped VA recordings. So exciting. Yeah, dude. They're making progress. I've heard of a movie called Blame It on Rio. It sounds familiar. I only just learned about it. Just hearing about it makes me feel dirty. The name sounds familiar, but I don't know anything about it. Hope you got 3 hours to spare, Darkly. Best friends and their daughters vacation in Rio de Janeiro, only for one to fall for the other's daughter. Men are in their 50s, I think. Good Lord. Yeah, okay. It's the 80s. Well, I guess it's technically still early. Anyway, have you seen Tyler Hoechlin in Road to Perdition? I have not seen Road to Perdition, so that's a no. Wonder if there'll be any teasers for the final season of Stranger Things. There will be something. It's on the schedule for Tadum. Mammoth didn't have a post-credit scene. Well, what was the... Well, shit, I can't say. What was the Arkham Asylum thing? I thought that was... Or maybe that was like just at the tail end of the credit, like the beginning of the credits. I don't remember. Anyway, whatever. Who cares? There was definitely set up for more, for sure. Let's see. I heard that Matt Reeves is not directing the Batman 2 anymore. That is also what we've heard. We talked about that earlier. The Blasphemy, Omni. Of course, I've seen Rogue One. It's my third favorite Star Wars movie. I just had to make sure. The movie's 3 hours. It is 3 hours. The hell? Why? Fine. Yeah, it's a long, chunky little movie. Which world of the MCU universe would you want to live? What's your favorite MCU character? Spider-Man, and just keep Hell's Kitchen alive. Just keep Daredevil going. I could sacrifice all of the MCU to just for more Daredevil. Which now I guess I can. Spider-Man's my favorite superhero, Marvel-wise. Not overall, but Marvel-wise. But now that I can say Daredevil's MCU, Matt Murdock, he's my favorite MCU character. Fuck what I just said about Spider-Man. Matt Murdock. Florence Pugh has no right to be this damn fine. I don't like that after Dina's health revelation, they didn't even consider letting it go and turning back. That is obsession right there. They handled all of that very differently from the game handling of that scenario. Ellie right now is in a very different headspace in the show than she is in the games, which something was that I didn't even like put together until after the fact, after that episode. But yeah, she's that's the whole point in the game, is the obsession aspect of it, and we're not really highlighting that at all right now in the show. So we'll it's weird, but yeah, that would make sense, right? I don't know if I want to watch Abby as a main, not after what she did. Well, that's what the game did. I mean, I think that's what they're going to do. Or, I mean, we're definitely going to get a lot of Abby and her side of everything at some point. Thank God for your cat returned safely. Thank you. That was really late to the conversation there. Hell yeah. Woo Boy Shield Season 5, as if Season 4 wasn't intense enough, this manages to be just as, if not more, ambitious and emotionally compelling, and I look forward to seeing your reactions to it. Yes, this was originally meant to be this final season. If it wasn't renewed, glad it was, since this is the last one with 22 episodes. If you want to react to Agent Carter after that, could work. That's what I'm planning on doing right now. We're going to finish season 5, then I'm going to do Agent Carter, and then we will do the final final 2 seasons of S.H.I.E.L.D., I think. I think that's the plan I want to go to. There's not even a trailer for Ironheart. Is it out? Isn't it out next month? It's supposed to come out next month. Yeah, nothing new. They haven't said otherwise, but yes, we haven't seen shit. I know I should hate Abby, but I don't hate Caitlin Dever. I mean, you should never hate the actor behind a character. Yeah, I don't ever hate the character for character things, or the actor for character things. That's when you have a little bit of a mental health issue. Twisters, please, and maybe your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Maybe. Finally had to get the Twisters in. Which Marvel movie emotional scene got you to tears? Oh, there's definitely a lot. The first one that immediately comes to mind is Peter Parker disappearing in Infinity War and Tony disappearing from existence in Endgame. Those are the 2 moments that really come to mind. I'm sure there's others, but those are the first that immediately jump to mind. I'm surprised Dina didn't have a lot of questions about Ellie being immune. They made that moment more serious and more of a moment in the show than they did in the game. That's one thing I will give them. They definitely treated that with a lot of, because in the game, the revelation comes about and they just kind of move on. Dina's just like, huh! And then they talk about the pregnancy. And then the conversation just completely, like, they move through that. Obviously, how the reveal happens is completely different. Leaving the subway, though, that's all the same, but it wasn't a bite. Yeah, I don't know. They're definitely should have. I like that they were at least, like, they had this huge freak out moment about it. I liked that a lot. Can't tell which scene I like more from Avengers Endgame. Either Cap wielding Thor's hammer or the portal scene. Probably Cap getting the hammer. Portal scene's awesome, but that moment is iconic. For Claire Obscure Expedition 33, I would like to confirm that Ben Starr once again excels in his VA role. The entire cast is phenomenal. Love that for them. Yeah, again, I've said this before. Ben Starr, just as a human being, I find so enjoyable outside of all of his characters, like his gags, his sense of humor, like the little skits that he does on his own personal pages. Love it. But yeah, he's definitely rising up the ranks for me. Let's see. I hope they have a new Sonic movie with Amy. Maybe the Bat Rouge. It's going to be interesting. Well, one of those is definitely happening. If you haven't seen Sonic 3, I'm not going to spoil anything then, I guess, outside of that. But, yeah, all I'll say is I'd be very curious how they would handle Rouge. Can't wait for Godzilla vs. Kong Supernova. Likewise. Is it out next month, even though, sorry, I texted it sometime. Have you ever seen Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon TV show? No. I don't watch Marvel stuff typically, if it's not MCU related. That's the only version of most of those characters that I care about. I'm a DC guy. So like when it came to animation, the only Marvel stuff I've seen was Spider-Man the animated series and X-Men the animated series in the 90s. I never really branched out past that. I think it's Vel, not Val. It is Vel. I just wasn't correcting anybody. I only found out from the comments that Conrad from Lucky Day played Prince Eric in The Little Mermaid. I saw a couple comments. It was like, man, he was so much nicer in Little Mermaid. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, that makes so much more sense. Was I aware when I saw it? No, I did not recognize him at all. No, but that is very funny. What's your favorite movie you've reacted to this year? Oh, you. Like that came out this year or that I've watched this year? Working on my card collection of Yu-Gi-Oh! Over 6,000 to check the rare one, and then 2 weeks working on it. That's a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, man. Collecting since 2004. I stopped recollecting 2011, do you collect any type of card in your childhood or today? I used to have a shit ton of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I used to love my deck, and then some little brat, I think it was one of my brother's friends, broke into my car and somehow knew where I kept my deck and just took it out and threw it on the hill. I didn't know this until I was going to my buddies where we were going to play, and I was like, where'd my deck go? And I just like, okay, well, sometimes I leave it at his house, so I started to back out, and then I saw something out of the corner of my eye, and all of my cards were just littered across the side of the hillside, and it had been raining for days, so all of them were ruined. So that really turned me off for a long time. It took me a long time to try to like get back into it. I started to rebuild my deck a couple years ago to start getting the cards I knew I had. But outside of that, I haven't really got back into any major collecting. I used to do Pokemon, but I threw most of those away during a move because I was a dumb fucking teenager. Because a lot of that shit would probably be worth a lot at the moment. But they're probably in a dumpster somewhere. Not a dumpster, landfill somewhere. Which is sad. Like first edition OG Pokemon cards too. Some of them. I didn't have a first edition Charizard though, but I did have a Charizard. But whatever. Most of my stuff was first edition or early editions. Ugh. I was a lazy dumbass. It was just because I did not want to pack it, so I just threw everything into a trash bag. As far as cards currently, the only cards I've been collecting is some Yu-Gi-Oh here and there, but mostly Has-Been Hotel, and I've got a shit ton of the Has-Been Hotel cards. First edition and second. That's the only thing I'm collecting at the moment. Card wise. Did I see that people were upset that Star Wars Andor retconned Mon Mothma's speech from Rebels? My take is that as long as the outcome is the same, that's what matters. Except they didn't though, because they are taking her, the speech that they watched in Rebels, to my understanding now, because that's what I thought initially as well, is the speech that she is delivering when they're taking her off before she goes to Yavin. Because, there's the speech at the Senate, and then there's the second speech that they broadcast with Gold Team on Yavin. And I think that's the one that Rebels showed, was the second speech. I could be wrong, but that is what I've been seeing a lot of people say. So I've been seeing a lot of people say that it didn't retcon the speech. It's just a different speech. But I don't know. Yeah, it's two different speeches. Right. Because I thought the same thing as you initially. They also retconned how K2SO meets Andor from that one comic I never read. At this point, the books and the comics, unless they cement it in some type of visual medium, are up for grabs to retcon. Dave Filoni's retconned a book or two. He's retconned a comic or two. The comics and the books right now are basically just additional information and to be rewritten as the people making animated shows and movies leisure. However, Dark Disciple, they kept that in, considering Tales of the Underworld opens at the end of that book. So it's just they're picking and choosing. So it definitely goes to show that it so much of what they're doing with this mixed media thing, where everything is canon under Disney, it's not with some of the stuff that they're doing like this, So whatever happens in live action or animation supersedes anything elsewhere, as we are learning. My opinion, Andor stopping in the midst of a war zone to take K2SO, the ship to fix him, was my only gripe with this last arc. It felt a bit forced to me, pun intended. It's the thing, man. Force is dictating a lot of that, and I love that was a theme of this last little arc, is that there is a force that is leading everybody to their destinies, which has always been the case. That's how the Force works. That's why they call it the will of the Force. Like, that's how these things happen. There's these figures that are just these linchpins of existence, and he's one of them. So you could say it's Force, but it could also literally be the Force. But after what you just saw and you disabled one of these, I think it's a very reasonable thing with this truck right here to try to scoop that fucker up and get out of there. Is it a risk? Sure, but I think it was a pretty smart move in the wake of it. Though I'm so sad that we got deprived that K2SO horror episode that they talked about, that they had to cut because of the budget. Because that sounded sick as hell. Currently watching your Ted Lasso reaction. Saw you were live and wanted to come by and say, hey, well, hell yeah. Well, welcome, Mandalorian. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Love Ted Lasso. Such a wild ride. Do you have any intention of watching The Walking Dead Dead City Season 2? Why the fuck would I watch Season 2 if I have not watched Season 1? No, I'm not watching it. Not watching it at all. Do you think Force Healer saw Cassian's future from Rogue One? I think, like she said, she felt the weight of it, the destiny. She couldn't see a clear image or specifics. It's just a feeling, and I think that's all it is. He has somewhere he needs to be, and that inevitably is Scarif. Some biblical lore has Lucifer and Michael being twins. I mean, I wouldn't classify that as real lore, though. A lot of those things, like if you're looking at contextual, well, I mean, technically, if you're looking at the actual text themselves, Lucifer isn't even a real entity. It's just a mistranslation attributed to the devil. Or the king. I forget which king it was again, but one of the kings too. It was just a mistranslation. There's no proper named Lucifer entity in the Bible, but no. That mistranslation got super popular and made it into a lot of traditional, not folklore, but pop culture media, thanks to stuff like Paradise Lost and whatnot that really fleshed all that out. There's a lot of different stuff, but like, yeah, if we're like looking at text, like, there's not really a lot that connects them other than all being the children of God in some way. But Lucifer, at least Satan, Lucifer, whatever, Morningstar was created initially first. And two, that's also pulled from different avenues as well. So sometimes a lot of it just gets blended in my brain and separate which was actually there and which wasn't. I've been trying to figure it out. Let's see. Favorite Superman show of all time. Mine's a hot take, but My Adventures with Superman. I really like My Adventures with Superman, but favorite Superman show of all time is Superman and Lois right now. There was one show that had Lucifer and Michael be played by the exact same guy. Yeah, that would be a show, but I don't know if that, I have no idea which show you're referring to though. Because everybody's going to put their own spin on the mythology to, you know, do their own thing and play around with it. But I'm talking, what I was referring to is like the actual like origins. That's it for me. See you next time. Take it easy, Logan. Probably already gone by this point though. Is Mama Mothma done in Andor, Omni, or could we see her in the final arc? I think we will most certainly see her in the final arc. Probably on Yavin in a leadership role, probably. Devin Sawa, man, he was a teen heartthrob. Casper, Little Giant. See, that's more things. I completely forgot he was in Casper. Didn't see. There's a bunch. Like, yeah. Let's see. I'm very much in love with Haley Atwell in Mission Impossible 7. I mean, it's Haley Atwell, so it's understandable. Littlefoot being the cutest baby dinosaur ever, dude. That whole cast. Chopper was my favorite eventually. Chomper, not Chopper. Chomper was my favorite when he showed up in the crew. Before that, I think it was... shit, why am I blanking on his name? The pterodactyl. What was his name? I can't remember his name. Fuck. I'm sure somebody will mention it. He was one of my favorites. Petrie. I got there. Anyway, Haley is gorgeous. Yes, she is. Did you get a chance to be traumatized by the car accident of Final Destination 2? I honestly, I don't remember. whatever. I don't want to say anything just in case anybody hasn't seen it, but like as far as like it's concerned, like whatever the first kill in the movie was for certain major characters. I don't even remember what it was, because after that I was like, I'm not watching this now. Love when Dina finds out Ellie's secret way more in the show. In the game, Ellie called Dina a burden after she tells her she's pregnant. In the show, though, she doesn't get angry at all. A great change. No, okay, how the reveal happens I like better in the show, but Ellie, they are not doing, in hindsight, and now that I'm outside the episode, they're missing the entire point of the story of the game right now by doing what you just said. Like, it works in this context, but it completely defeats the actual purpose of the game, is that she should be upset. She should be tunnel visioned on Abby a lot more than she currently is right now. They've softened Ellie so much, almost to a detriment to the message. But who knows? When we get to Lake Hill, we'll see. They might be waiting to turn that knob. Because now, like, definitely in hindsight, after getting out of the episodes, Ellie is a lot more, I don't know what you'd call it, timid. She doesn't have that fire. I don't know, it's weird. Weird. It's just they need to stop gooning over it's not even every celebrity. It's quite literally every woman you talk about. You're just always gooning. Always. What they haven't done yet, but I think they should have done at some point, is a Batman HBO show like Game of Thrones, 8 seasons where you can cover much more than any movie trilogy. Thoughts? I think that would be cool. You don't get the return in the way that you do with a film, though, for something like that, so I understand why there hasn't been. But I don't know. It would be cool. It just depends. You'd have to really have one story to tell. Something like that for like a, well, I mean, we did already kind of get some twist on it. Like, you could do, like, I was gonna say you could do the Long Halloween that way, but we got our Long Halloween adaptation in the Batman. But I don't know. We'll see. It could work, but I'm fine with films for certain things like that. But do you, Junho, and I guess Junho and the Lone Shark will actually do something in season 3? Oh yeah, they'll actually do something for, I would imagine, so especially with the people we lost in season 2. So Kevin Feige has a 10-year plan for the Mutant Saga, which is great. He had a 5-year plan for the Multiverse Saga, which unfortunately had to be reworked. Now we'll see how things go, man. Like doing the show, that's all I'll say, and can catch case. Squid Game, I called Shady Captain from the beginning. I finished it last week, so it's fresh in my mind. I can't remember how early I threw that out there, but it definitely I think it took a little while for me to actually consider it. I definitely knew he was suspicious, I think, before the reveal, though, I'll say. In Pokemon Journeys series, I got 2 episodes left of season 2, and man, there's some episodes that are not needed, in my opinion. That happens, man. It happens. Top 3 favorite Batman animated shows of all time. Hot take, Brave and the Bold is my number 1, Batman the Animated Series, and then Batman 2004. For me, out of all of them, I've only really watched, like, we're talking Batman animated shows, Batman the Animated Series. I have not seen the Batman from 2004. I've seen an episode of Brave and the Bold. That is it. So Batman the Animated Series for me. And I guess by default, even though I don't really love it, Batman Beyond would have to be number 2, I guess. Just by default. What was it about the second movie that made you drop the Final Destin franchise? The indiscriminate killing of certain character. It just made it feel pointless. Like this just what. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, there was a absolutely feeling of, wow, okay, all that from the first movie is now pointless, and I didn't like that. I don't like when movies do that. A lot of franchises have done it, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, have I ever watched the Ring movies? No, but I've seen so much pop culture around it. I have the gist of it in mind, but I've never actually seen it. Is season 2 of One Piece this year? I think so. I'm not 100% though. Top 3 favorite DC animated shows of all time: Green Lantern animated series, My Adventures with Superman, Batman the Brave and Bold, Batman the animated series, Superman the animated series. That's not true. Batman the animated series, Justice League Unlimited, and then My Adventures with Superman, maybe. Dion, Isabel Dina's perfect casting. That scene was before the credits hit. Thank you. See, I don't know. I'm glad that you checked me on that. Is the new Fast and Furious movie supposed to come out this year or next? I don't know when it's supposed to come out anymore. I can't remember what's been said about it so far. How do you rank the Batman Arkham games? I think 1, City Asylum Origins Night. For me, it's Asylum, City, Origins Night. Let's see. Tyler was 13 in Road to Perdition. You should put it on a poll. It's quite a good drama/thriller. Might have to do that. Do you think the X-Men will be the central focus for 10 years and then no more X-Men? Or could it be similar to the Avengers where we get stories about them still in future phases? I would imagine we would still continue to get stories as long as they have stories to tell. I don't think they'll just drop them after all of that. Let's see. Matt Murdock is the GOAT. Rude to poor Spidey. Although eventually we'll finally get to a place where Feige asks himself, where do we go from here? I have no idea where they could go past mutants, but Feige plans ahead like 6 years in advance. We'll see, man. Who knows at this point? I wonder the same thing. I wonder what The Last of Us show would look like if it copied everything from both games. It would look like the game. I don't know how else to describe that. Realize, like, it would just be everything we saw in the game, beat for beat, move for move, just in real time. But if we include game mechanics, like I said, there would be a lot of people noodle arming like octopuses in every building they enter, scavenging, just crouching around, your arm just stealing stuff like this off of shelves. Because that's half the gameplay. Hope Feige discusses the MCU future post Secret Wars this year at SDCC after his comment about his 10-year plan for the X-Men. We can only wait and see. It must have sucked having to play her after her golfing. It hurts, just saying. Oh, like, what was it? I can't remember her name. The actress playing Mel on set actually started crying. It wasn't scripted because of how emotional just being on the set was filming it, and they kept it in. And hell, watching the behind the scenes footage of Laura Bailey, of Ashley Johnson, Troy Baker filming that scene in this giant empty gray warehouse, all in mocap suits. Even Laura Bailey was crying watching Ellie's freak out, like in the mocap suits for the game. Like it's just, it's wild. Last of Us Season 2 is really ramping things up with the Infected, which is great. Because that was, yes, that, I'm loving that. And we're not done if we're heading to Lake Hill. But I'm excited to see what they do with this. But the subway station, how they did all of that, that was good. That was great. Almost beat for beat, that whole section of even though in the game you can kind of like bait the soldiers into getting killed by the Infected, and that was kind of fun. The way they did that in the news station was really, really, really cool. I I just remember in my session spending a lot of time in both of those places and how quickly we just kind of moved past it. And I'm like, damn, I wish it was that easy. Like the Twisters movie with Glenn Powell and Daisy Edgar Jones. Let's just say my favorite character was, oh my God, Dion, please. It's losing its appeal, dude. You need to relax. Let's see. Surprise watery eyes from the opening of Wakanda Forever. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of to be expected. It was an emotional opening. Find it funny that Ellie finds out about Dina's pregnant and her response is to make out with her. I don't think she initiated, though. Didn't Dina? I don't even remember at this point. I think Dina initiated, which makes sense because she thought Ellie was dead. Ellie said that she was immune to Dina earlier in the game when they were high in Eugene's growing den. Dina didn't believe him there. Didn't believe her there. God, so much. God, the misspelling in my brain, and then yeah. I forgot about that. I forgot that, you know, she was like, I'm immune, and they just did not believe her at all. So that was the realization. So I guess that can kind of justify the lack of expression because that seed had already been planted, I guess. So that's fine, I guess. In The Last of Us, I didn't cry at the actual death scene, but it was tough to watch, but the aftermath got me good. Yeah, I cried more, I think, seeing the reaction post-death. Where the hell did that go? Son of a bitch. I dropped something. Also, another change from the game, Ellie might actually let Dina go with her to get revenge on Abby's group. That would be a big old change. I don't know how I feel about that. But I mean, who knows? We'll see. Which would you prefer to face? Zombies from 28 Days Later or White Walkers? Oh, well, I mean, considering White Walkers can only be taken down with dragon glass or fire, I think I would handle zombies better. The 28 Days Later zombies better. Both are terrifying. Then again, like, if you get any blood from one of the rage zombies on you, or in your orifices or holes or anything, your own wounds, whatever, you will become one of them. What did you think of Thunderbolts? I still haven't seen it. That's something they talk about when she finds out in the theater. Dina thought she was joking back then. That was just a chemical burn. Fair enough. Like I said, my memory about 2 isn't as pristine as it is about 1. Finally got around to watching the trailer for Peacemaker Season 2. Cannot wait. Looks so much fun. I'm very curious to see what they're going to do this time around. Earth's Mightiest Heroes is a great series. I've heard nothing but good things about it, man. Will it be a ripoff of Superman if FF4 ends with Reed sending his baby to 616 universe alone? His universe gets destroyed. I mean, yeah, but there's no way they aren't also going to leave that universe. They're not going to die there and send their kid away. There's no way. And I miss Superman and Lois, especially Lois. Dion, relax, dude. Hazbin Hotel has cards. They're trading cards. It's not a game. It's not like a TCG, but they have cards, and I have a lot of them. I just got a couple of new packs today too, trying to salvaging some of the first edition packs off of eBay, and I didn't get any good pulls though. Pretty much just dud packs. What are you doing? 2 different speeches. Abby was a good and interesting character in my opinion. If you see beyond that big scene, she is not really a monster or that evil. She just has good in her, just like Joel. We heard Joel killed innocent people. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, it's just grace. That's the whole point. But I won't get into it. Everybody can be pushed over a line for what they think is justice or right or wrong. And yeah. Have you heard of... Yes. Can't remember it enough. We talked a little bit about it earlier. But no, as far as will I be able to play it? Probably not. Not anytime soon. Mothma makes 2 speeches in Rebels. One is about holding the Emperor Palpatine responsible for the Gorman massacre, and one is about revealing the full Rebel Alliance. I think that's after the fact, though. I thought there was 2 speeches specifically about Gorman and Palpatine. I don't know. Fuck, I don't know, man, anymore. Rebels is the show I've watched the least. Although Mon Mothma still made the same points in Rebels versus Andor, which was about denouncing Palpatine for his role in the massacre. Holy backlog, Batman. How far behind chat are you? At this point, 20, just 20 minutes. Have you heard of a series called Grimm, which I'm rewatching at the moment? It's so good. I've heard of it, but I have never checked it out. Couldn't help but feel bad for Cyril when he spent the last 3 years obsessed with Andor, and Cassian didn't even know who he was. It wasn't just the last 3 years, because we had a 5-year time skip between seasons 1 and 2. It's been over 8 years, almost a decade he's been chasing Cassian. Very true, Lucifer and the devil are not the same. Well, in the original texts, they are. And the name Lucifer is, again, not truly denoted to a being, but a description. And it only was thought as such because of a mistranslation. So, but most pop culture or media that's come out of it have a lot of times made them 2 different entities. But technically, there is no entity in the Bible named Lucifer, or carrying that moniker, by the way. This is something I only found out recently too, which made my world and my reality kind of crumble. That Lucifer as a character doesn't really exist. I only found that out last year, I think. What I was surprised to find out is how few people knew about Lilith. A lot of people thought Lilith was some kind of creation by Vivian and an addition to the story for Has-Been. I thought that was a kind of shocking revelation to me. That, I mean, I guess because like that isn't very popularized in a lot of retellings, I guess. So I guess I shouldn't be all that surprised, but I still kind of was. Favorite member on Peacemaker's squad? Harcourt. Harcourt, for sure. No hesitation, Harcourt. Not shocked, but agreed. Had such a great time watching that GTA 6 trailer. Looked like a dang movie. I'm very curious. The tone of it's very different. It's really interesting. I talked about this with Barry earlier. Was that we were because I watched the trailer and with her, and you know, it was just like, huh, it seems like these main characters actually care about each other, which is unique. We haven't seen that in a minute, where at least the main characters aren't all pieces of shit towards each other, and that they seem to be, despite being criminals, in a healthy, loving relationship, which is a change of pace, which is kind of refreshing. It is in Vice City, so I may try to play it. I do like the setting of Vice City, and returning has me excited, even if I don't really play GTA games that much anymore. Superman, the animated series, or Superman and Lois? Superman and Lois. We get a Peacemaker trailer reaction? No, I watched it already in my free time. I'm not really doing trailer reactions a lot these days, unless I really feel like it's something that would make for a good reaction, or if I'm just in the mood for it. A lot of times it boils down to the mood. In Rebels, Mon headed to Dantooine and doesn't go to Yavin until 1BBY. I think that she still was transported to Dantooine and Andor. The final arc could mention Dantooine. Oh, we'll have to see, I guess. Let's see. Metal poles. Metal poles, indeed. You'd remember, I think. It's kind of sad that we never got Cartoon Network movies like how we got for Nickelodeon for the big screen. Yeah, didn't we get a Powerpuff Girls movie, though? Like a theatrical Powerpuff Girls movie? I thought we did. Maybe we didn't. Maybe I'm making that up. Very well could have been straight to TV. I don't know. I could never drive behind logs or huge stacks of anything because of that stupid movie. And I saw that in the trailers. I can't remember that. But, like, yeah, I was, like, even just seeing that, like, I can never get that thought out of my head either. Cassian taking K2SO is also his inner scavenger/scavenger coming out from the front. You can take the boy out of Ferrex, but you can't take the Ferrex out of the boy. That's very, very true. He saw an opportunity and he took it. Seeing what those things do, having played like the Fallen Order games as well, fighting those things are a bitch. And seeing them in action, unarmed, well, they have arms, but without a weapon, just hands, just throwing hands and throwing people. Those things are terrifying. And that's what they do to you in Fallen Order too. They'll just grab your ass or beat the fuck out of you. Even a Jedi has trouble fighting those things one-on-one. See what you say about softening Ellie, because Ellie had that I'm gonna be a dad reaction, is an Ellie that would be thinking about turning him back. Right. Think that Ellie not getting angry at Dina makes sense since Dana just found out she's pregnant, while in the game, she knew before they even left Jackson weeks ago. I just rewatched this and I thought they talked about that in that moment. Because I think she found out when they were on the road, is what I thought. I think Dina found out and didn't tell her, because I just rewatched the scene last week. I could have sworn Dina told her at the theater. I don't know, whatever. Who cares at this point? Yeah, I'm planning on watching Final 6 at home on Halloween with the fam. Should be out by then. That sounds like a cool little date. Yeah, the game Ellie seems a lot more rage-filled. Like she's been angry about things for a long time and been bottling up. But post-golf, she just keeps getting darker. We're not really seeing that right now in the show. And I didn't realize this watching it. But after the fact, like talking with some people, talking with you guys, and even rewatching it, it is... Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. How would you feel if DC made a series like The Penguin for its characters, so instead of movies we were getting serious tone limited series? That could work. I don't know how much of a viability or longevity that would have in the long term, but I'd watch it. The Penguin was really good. It was really good. Let's see. Could you see Pokemon getting a live action adaptation one day? Could it be done? We got Pokemon, we got Detective Pikachu, the movie. We've already done it. And I'm still waiting on the sequel they said was coming. Where's that? They also said they were working on a more traditional live action Pokemon movie, which we still haven't heard absolutely nothing about. So if you haven't seen Detective Pikachu, watch Detective Pikachu. It's really good. Bye everyone. Have a great rest of your weekend and happy early Mother's Day. Be nice to your moms. I always try. Take it easy. Have a good weekend. That's the whole point of Final Destination, isn't it? All of most of the characters dying to cheat death. Yeah, but the whole point of the first one was succeeding, surviving. So it just makes it all pointless to me, the effort, the fight, and everything with what happens in 2. And I just lost interest. I was like, I don't want to watch this windmill just continue to repeat all day long, like running on this fucking hamster wheel if there's no hope. I don't care. I completely lost interest in that once that happened. Yeah, I don't give a shit after that. Let's see. I think I know which character death you're talking about in the second Final Destination. Yeah, completely understandable. Hell yeah, the behind the scenes is so hard to watch, but for all the right reasons. Agreed. I have to get eye drops like every 4 hours after my surgery. Oh yeah, so I'm assuming everything's fine. I was in a lot of pain yesterday, but I am now past the worst of it. So you had the eye surgery already. So I'll just tell you what I was going to say last time. It was when you were like, see you next week. I was like, maybe, maybe you will. Which that's why I was like, dude, that was fucked up and I don't want to manifest that. But you're out on the other side. And you know what? There you go. I'll reveal what I hid from you last week. Let's see. Ellie is probably feeling those things already. I'm sure something or someone will bring it to the surface more. It's just the fact that we haven't really seen it much in the show, I think, is that makes it feel like it's very strongly missing, but we'll see. We'll see how they handle it. I want to see special presentations for mutants like how they did with Werewolf by Night, starting with Scott's origin story and a special presentation in the Storms. And they could do that, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to see it like that, personally. Dina initiates from a relief of Ellie not dying and having to be the one to put her down. Yes, see, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. And that makes sense to me. Like, this person you loved but never got to say or express that to, you thought you were about to have to put them down, that they were gone, that future you wanted disappeared, and then just suddenly came back, and you were, all of this regret and pain was because you always hesitated to ever tell the truth. In that moment, once you realized it was all back and possible, I think it's a very understanding reaction to just dive into it. I think that was Pedro and Caitlin's first scene they filmed together was that. That is insane. Oh. Mao? Oh, I thought it was Kitty. Sad. Don't think we're ever getting a third Nun movie after the reception of the second. I'm surprised we got a second Nun movie. The first one was fucking terrible. I've still never seen the second one, though. One change I hate, but it makes sense, is Tommy not going after Abby's group. Well, yeah. I'm sure he will. Also, Abby's group is bigger in the game, while in the show, she only has 4 friends. I thought it was about the same. I don't remember. Unless there's people I'm forgetting, it looks the same. Like, the people that went with her on the trek, I'm pretty sure is the same. At least the named characters, at least. What would you like to see in the final episodes of Andor? I honestly, I couldn't tell you. I'm just excited to see Cassian and K2 together and going on some missions. When could we see Joel flashbacks? I thought each episode would have flashbacks sprinkled throughout like Arrow did. Well, by this point in the game, even, we had a couple of flashbacks. Well, to be fair, the dance we find out about via flashback. The Seth moment we find out via flashback. Well, no. The Seth thing we see real time. We just don't know what happened until we get the flashback of that. There's a couple of Joel Ellie flashbacks that have been alluded to in present day in this, but we've not actually seen the backstory on. So I do think we're probably going to be getting some Joel scenes at some point. I would imagine so, but maybe not. Maybe we won't get any flashbacks. Maybe they'll internalize all of that, which I won't wholly enjoy if that's the case, but we'll see. Where do you get has-been cards? They sell them on the Has-Been Hotel store, though at this point, both second and first editions are completely sold out. Did not take long either. They were gone quick. I bought 100 packs of the second editions because I missed out on the first edition wave, and I was like, I still didn't get half the cards I wanted, though. I still have first edition and second edition Lucifer, which makes me happy. Because that's really namely what I wanted. I was really hoping to get a Lilith, because there's secret rare cards. That for right now, a Lilith card on eBay at cheapest is $13,000. So I was hoping if I got a box of 100, maybe I could get one of the secret rares, and I definitely did not. Because there's 3 secret rares. There's Lilith, Fat Nuggets, and Kiki. And, yeah. Let's see. Abby is much better in the show because she came across as emotionless in the game. Only from our perspective and our initial introduction. She was very much so in the exact same headspace Ellie is heading towards. So I understand why when we met her, she wasn't. But the more she opened up, the more you get to know about Abby, she's very emotional in the game. But she is a lot more emotional in this, but I think that's just up front for the viewer. That's another thing that I didn't really love, is her spouting out all of the whys to everybody right now about what happened, because that's something you didn't find out until later. The why of it all. So it works, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm still loving what they're doing with it. There's a lot of improvements that they have made to the game, though, I will definitely say. I hope next episode of The Last of Us have Jesse show up so I can drool. Who knows, man? Who knows? I haven't seen Green either, but Elizabeth Tulloch was on there. Which 3 DC heroes would you like to get a game the most? I want a GL game that's Mass Effect-like the most, and a Green Arrow game, then a Constantine game that's like Alan Wake, maybe. Ooh, that would be interesting. I would love for someone to figure out how to make a Flash game, even though I know logistically it would be next to impossible to work. But I don't know. So, what I say, Flash, for sure. A Wonder Woman game a la God of War would be badass. And then, that Wonder Woman game getting canceled, which sounds like it was going to be like that, does break my heart a little bit. But, and then, yeah, like a space opera with the Green Lanterns, I think would be really cool. Theology knowledge for the win. 3 full-length postings later, I finally remember to put a timer in. Oops. That happens, man. Cyril. Cyril's been chasing Cassian since 5 BBY. There's a 1-year time jump from season 1 to 2. He finally met back up with Andor in 2 BBY. You are correct. I did not feel like that was the case, but you are correct. Those people who have not seen True Blood or Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, then. I've seen the first episode of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, but I never continued it. Maybe Duck Spear would be a great time. We've got Doomsday, Mando, Grogu, and GTA 6 on May 26th. Wait, is all that on the same day or year? There was a Powerpuff Girls theatrical movie. Thank you. I thought there was at least one. Let's see. I think they meant that in the game Dina knew before leaving. Jackson didn't say. Well, that wouldn't affect... Dina knowing wouldn't affect Ellie's reaction. right? You know, that's what we were talking about, was Ellie's reaction. Unless I'm already misremembering what we were talking about, or the point of our conversation. Dina did tell Ellie in the theater, but I meant Dina found out earlier in the game, while in the show she finds out on the road. Ellie gets more mad in the game because of this. I guess I can kind of see that. But at this point, they're already in Seattle, right? So I kind of understand this thought that, well, they've already traveled so far and they're right there to just see it through. Like, I get that headspace in that context. So I guess I don't have that big of a problem with that. Same, but Joel in season 1 is way less violent too, in my opinion. Wait, now what are we talking about? What? I'm keeping track of all these conversations gets difficult sometimes. Like Joel's game show counterpart is way less violent than his game counterpart. I mean, kinda. I mean, they cut a lot out too, to be fair. But I don't know, man. That interrogation scene was pretty brutal. I'd say they're closer. But we'll see. Lake Hill's coming, man. There's some fun stuff in Lake Hill. I just don't know if we're gonna go straight to Lake Hill. I feel like that's got to be the end of the season, or the aquarium. I want to know where this season's going to end. They very well could do it in the next episode, which means they're skipping. Well, no, they would have already skipped that by this point. Anyway, whatever. We'll figure it out. Waiting for Dead City gets to episode 5 or 6 before I watch it. Fun. Detective Pikachu is great. Find it hilarious how Daryl Dixon will be traveling to Iceland in the future. According to the showrunner, he'll travel everywhere at this point, which is a bit ridiculous. Yeah. Only a little bit. Also, haven't been watching that. I'm happy Bix didn't die yet, that we know of. We don't know what happens. I also stopped at Final Destination for the same reason as you, but I did finish 2 and have seen all initial death sequences, cause morbid curiosity. Man, if you're looking for hope in Final Destination, you're watching the wrong movie. In the first one, not at all. Not at all. I completely disagree with that for the first movie. But it did well. It was cheap to make. So they rewrote their own thing into a hopeless cycle of fuckery that I'm not here for. Let's see. People do like to hide their anger, but it's there, ready to Hulk out. We'll see. I want to see it Hulk. I want to see Ellie Hulk. Random question, but if you buy Blu-rays, do they still do DVD behind the scenes extra featurettes? I miss those. Sometimes, but it's getting more and more rare, even on those. Forgot about Detective Pikachu, but it's on my list. But could you see a live action Pokemon show like they did with the live action One Piece? Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely. Why not? Definitely. But Pokemon Company doesn't make smart decisions. They don't leverage their IP outside of merchandise in really a lot of smart ways. You know, they did a cease and desist on the fan-made tabletop RPG that was being developed online by fans. Made them shut it down. And not even because they planned on doing one themselves, when they very well could. It's built around that idea. It's an RPG. That would be sick as hell if they just made an official one, at least, to fill that void. That would be awesome. But no. Yeah, I don't know, man. Fuck them. Also, I am unfortunate enough to have seen Final Destination 5 with the laser eye surgery scene. That was all on my mind. All my mind jumped to when I was in the surgery room. I could imagine. When I'm on like a roller coaster or anything like that, an elevator even, I am always just anxious until it's over. Because my brain is going through every nightmare scenario almost all the time. Are you excited about how the Star Wars Jedi series ends in the third game? Are we even going to get the third game now because of the massive shakeup and layoffs at Respawn that happened, what, 2 weeks ago? It might not be happening anymore. Based on, there's speculation that it's not, at least right now, but who knows? I mean, we don't have any confirmation, but with what just happened to Respawn, I don't know, dude. I want to know, but we'll see. Maybe we'll see Cal become a master and train some younglings, or even learn more about the path. I just want more Cal Kestis in general. He's a character that has quite easily become one of my favorites in all of Star Wars. Tommy goes, after Ellie, he better sneak out, because his wife would shoot him in the foot to keep him from that stupidity. It's the same amount of people with Abby. So that's what I thought. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, as far as if like we're talking named characters, it's the same. You know, we're not missing anybody to my knowledge, but it is what it is. Whatever. Probably not as much flashbacks as Arrow. Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. But dude, I would be shocked if we don't get any. We know at least one. We know at least one. They showed at least one in the trailer. It's a huge one. So if they drop that, people would be pissed. So we know one's coming, at least, bare minimum. But that's it. Anyway, let's see. In her group in the game, there was the Jordan guy. Ellie slashed his face in the game. Well, she slashed Manny's face in the show. Anyway, yeah, you're right. You are right. Again. We're missing Jordan, Leah, and Nick. But to be honest... Oh, that guy. Leah, though. I don't think we saw her. Yeah, she wasn't there. Well, you know, she was. It just, for whatever reason, didn't mention it here. Okay, well, I don't remember the shit out of them. Let's see. The Last of Us Part 2, the way they plotted just adds to the PTSD and the idea that it's all about context and perspective. 13,000. Yes, indeed. There's one on the eBay right now for 16 something. Don't know if I asked you this yet, but will you play Ghost of Yotei? I will definitely be doing my damnedest to play that because I loved the first game. I wonder what a live-action adaptation of Days Gone would look like. Every other zombie thing you've ever seen but a guy on a motorcycle. Does it come with a diamond ring or a car or something? What? Oh, the card? No. Put my hand up and watched Last of Us for Pedro, but even though he's no longer here, I'm still loving it. Also, thanks for not saying that about my surgery last week. You're a kind person. Yeah. See, that's why I was like, nope, not gonna say that. Not gonna say that. I'm a dark. I love my dark humor sometimes, man. But I was like, what if I say that and then something happens, and then I'm the asshole? You know, You were like, no, Taylor, I like whatever. I don't care if I fucked up jokes. I was like, sure, God. And I was like, nah, man, I'm not doing it. I'm disappointed if they save that how Joel killed Eugene reveal until next season. We have to get that soon, right? I'd love a Teen Titans game. That could be cool. Honestly, don't know what The Last of Us Season 3 would even look like because I don't know if they will make a third game. Okay, Dion. Season 3 is the second half of the second game. It's not part 3 of the game, or it's not picking up after the events of the second game. They're using 2 seasons to tell the story of part 2. I think they should make a Booster Gold game a la Dark Souls. That would be interesting. Ooh, make it better. Do like an old-timey medieval story with Etrigan and do a Dark Souls kind of thing. Also, Marvel, please make an X-Men or Fantastic Four game with no live service or elements at all like Avengers. Oh yeah, for sure. Do you think I'm a slow reader if I said that it takes me a month to read a book? It took me 6 months to read a 6-book series. That's still more than I read. It depends. Like if I'm locked in, I got no other distractions, and it depends. It could take me like a day or two and I might finish something. Like Light of the Jedi, when I got that to review for the channel, which is the only time I've reviewed a book on the channel, I read that in 2 days because that's all I did was finish that book. But other times it could take me a year. We'll see. There's some books I've started I've just never finished too, or am slowly whittling my way through. What's BBY? Before Battle of Yavin. The Battle of like the Star Wars dates are all based on their relation to the Battle of Yavin. So Episode 4, A New Hope. So BBY is before Battle of Yavin. So this is how many years until we get to Episode 4. Episode 4, A New Hope, Star Wars, the first movie. Everything is in relation to that. There's BBY and then ABY, right? After Battle of Yavin. What's the current? It's after Battle of Yavin, right? I don't remember. I don't remember what we call it after the fact. I think it's ABY. Yeah, ABY. I was right. For some reason, when I said it out loud, it didn't sound right to me. Man, I got sad when WB canceled the Wonder Woman, Constantine, and Flash games. We could have had peak. I only know about, they only ever announced a Wonder Woman game. I never heard of a Constantine and Flash game. So, I mean, maybe that was in some leak or something, but there was never anything officially announced on that part. I wonder how well Fantastic Four is going to do in the box office since both Superman and Fantastic Four are in the same month. We'll have to wait and see. Hope we get more non-Batman games at some point because all we have coming now is the next Batman Arkham and maybe Injustice 3, but that's not confirmed yet. I agree. Same month we get Doomsday and other things I mentioned. Okay, I thought you were, for a second, I thought you were saying all those things come out on the same day, May 26th. I found a theater. Did you hear about the Scooby-Doo show that is in the works for Netflix? I did, and I'm, as always, a little concerned. Game comparison, I did read that. How are you finding Doctor Who? Love reactions. I'm really enjoying this season. I'm enjoying it a lot so far. Both are great, by the way. Wonder what a GTA style Gotham Sirens game might be like. That could be interesting. That could theoretically be pretty cool. Am I going to not love Lake Hill? Damn it. Depends. It depends. I like it. Well, it depends. It depends. We'll see. It just depends. It depends. Don't want to know, by the way. I don't play the game. I feel like the chronology of events in the show is changed around. It is, because we're not doing the flashback recounting of certain things. We've seen most things so far chronologically, which has left out a lot of the way that the story opened and was told so far in the game. So yeah, it's very, very different. We don't make it to the satellite station until after the theater, from what I remember. You know what? You might be right on that front. Because I did feel like even in the show, I was like, oh shit, we're already here. But then again, we were already in Seattle. So like, I don't, again, a lot of part 2, especially between the major story beats, a lot of that's a blur to me. I miss Doctor Who Confidential. I never really watched any of those. Ellie going it alone makes sense in the game, but in the show, it would be boring to watch just Ellie traveling through Seattle. She needs Dina in the show more so than in the game. I get that, I guess. I don't like it, but I get it. Have you seen the article from CNBC that said WB wants to split with Discovery? Oh, basically DC and HBO will still be owned by WB, but Discovery goes away. So just going back to how it was, well, without, who's their parent company going to be? Because they were bought from AT&T, right? I mean, they weren't independent of their own. How's that going to go? How's that going to work? Yeah, I did see that headline, but I didn't look into it or think about it any further. Pokemon Concierge is the only good Pokemon TV thing I've seen in so long. It looks cute as hell, but I've never watched it. Let's believe Bix will be alive, because after what she said, what she has been through, she deserves a good ending. I agree. And it's even more tragedy that all this is set in motion by her, and Cassian will never come home. It's fucked up. I want more Star Wars games in general past the Jedi games. Same. Are the Star Wars games canon? If so, when are they set? The Star Wars Fallen Order games they're canon, and they're set between episode 3 and 4. Exact dates I don't think we have, or I don't know them off the top of my head, but they're canon. So Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor are both canon. Going from your comment about elevators, ever heard of the movie Devil? I have. Never saw it though. Where an elevator gets stuck with several people inside and it looks like one of them may be possessed by the devil. I've heard of it. I saw the trailer. I vividly remember the trailer. I never saw it though. I think Abby had one friend called Jordan, who was the guy that Ellie slashed in the face. So they replaced Jordan with, at least in that situation, with Manny. So it looks like they condensed a couple things. Abby also had a friend present at the death called Leah. Yeah, I just went through that whole checklist of names. So the only people there on the show were Abby, Owen, Manny, Mel, Nora. Really the only ones that matter, because I don't recall any major moments with the others personally. But then again, I don't remember a lot about 2. Respawn recently released a statement after the layoffs saying that they're sorry and that they are very hard at work on the 3rd Jedi game. Okay, thank God. I would be so sad if we lost that. Days Gone adaptation would just be Daryl Dixon with running zombies. Pretty much. There's no way they'd be able to make a part 2 in only one season. It's mega long. Yes. I would not be surprised if they make part 2 into 3 seasons, depending on how far they get by the end of season 2. I've said that before too. I think they could feasibly make 3 seasons out of the second game, but who knows? Right now, it seems like they're trying to squeeze it all into 2, and we'll see how that goes. When I read comics, I'm usually locked in and read them in one run. If it's an omnibus, it usually takes a week. That's very different, like for me, than reading a novel. Like I could bang through a comic like that. I mean, that's easy as hell, I think. But if we're talking like just sitting down and reading like a book, like it depends. It depends on my interest, what else I have to do, because I need to lock in or I'm not going to get through it. And also, I can't do audiobooks unless I'm driving. I can't do it because I'll just be too distracted to listen. I read the 6th Harry Potter book in one day. Sleep. What's that? I didn't need it. When the 7th book came out, I think I read that. I'd say in one day. I did sleep, but I think I finished it. I think I finished it within 24 hours of its release. ABIs after, yeah. The first in Star Wars timeline is 30 ABY. The Starfighter movie will be 30, and the Rey film is set in 50. Are those dates confirmed for those films? I haven't been paying attention right now. Yeah, WB Montreal was gonna make a game about the Flash and Constantine, but they canned both. Flash was canned due to the movie flopping. It was a very reliable article. Okay, cool. So it just kind of came out after the fact, I guess. They're probably working on it, never made it like a real official announcement, I guess. I love a Star Wars trilogy set either 24,000 BBY or 200 ABY. Oh, that'd be cool. I just want an Old Republic thing, anything. So glad Isaac is played by the same actors in the show. Same. Forgot to say, I finally watched Sonic 3 and it was awesome. Hell yeah. Good midnight. Good midnight right to you. Found it funny how Isaac casually throws grenades in the truck like he's saying, hold this for a sec, please. Yeah, that was great. That Drake and Josh cameo was great. Well, Josh. Accurate, very cute, not enough Pikachu though. Still get a little more Pedro. You will still get some Pedro for sure. Yeah, at some point, whenever they decide to dive into that flashback. The Jedi's Fallen Order game is 14 BBY. Survivor is 9. Same year as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Predicting. See, that's weird. Well, no. Sorry. You're at the Inquisitorius in the first game, which is funny. The security somehow got worse. But yes, 9 BBY is same time as Obi-Wan. I'm predicting Jedi 3 will be 4 ABY. Sorry, BBY. I mean, that would make sense, I think. Can't wait for Lord of the Rings movie, The Hunt for Gollum. I hope it doesn't suck. Basically, they are apparently going to split because WD is $37 billion in debt, and there's a good chance that Zaslav won't be a threat to DC anymore. But we still need more info, I think. If he doesn't stay, or if he doesn't go with the Warner Brothers stuff, that's a huge win in my book. Fuck him. And his management. I recently saw a video ranking the DC shows and they put Titans in the highest tier. I was a bit shocked. Yeah, it should be nowhere near the top. Starfighter is 5 years after Rise of Skywalker. Ray film is 10 years after the Starfighter, so it just puts in those dates just in case. Okay. Gotcha. Titans was alongside The Flash, Superman, and Lois in the same tier, by the way. Huh? Ever watch Gotham Knights show on CW? Fuck no. Hell no. Ugh. Anyway, what Star Wars canon game would be a dream for you, Omni? Just make KOTOR canon. Just make KOTOR canon. just make KOTOR canon. When the remaster comes out, I hope they just say, like, here's the story of fucking Revan. Here you go, canon now. We know he exists. We know he exists. He exists in episode 9. He was cut out of certain scenes in Clone Wars. They had partially animated them, but they didn't release it. It ended up getting cut from the Mortis episodes, but I just want him canon. I just want that story canon. That's it. That's all I want. Top 3 shows of all time. The X-Files, Friends, and Breaking Bad. All right, Omni, I hope your week ahead is fun. Enjoy the last arc of Andor, and may peace be upon thee. Right back at you. And with that, gang, we are caught up. I agree. Make KOTOR canon or a High Republic game. High Republic game could be pretty cool, but yeah, I don't know. No, there's no but. It would be pretty cool. Like, you could just make a Jedi of your own, because there's an abundance of them. Well, I don't know. That could get real messy. Create a character stuff. Then again, here I am talking about KOTOR, in which you created a character, but then they eventually canonized the specific character later down the road, at least in Legends, and chose the option and cemented it and concreted it into their subsequent stories. Even though I hate where those went, because EA came in and fucked up their plans and be like, hey, live service, how about we just bend Revan over and screw that entire storyline? No KOTOR 3, but let's make the Old Republic and do all this stupid shit. Ugh. Anyway, sorry. Love you. KOTOR 1 or 2? For me personally, I love 2 more. I'll be honest, I have never been able to, literally every attempt I've made to play KOTOR 2, the game would not allow me to get off the first world without bugging the fuck out. I tried patches, I've tried fixes, I've tried it on Xbox, I've tried it on PC. It's always the same spot. I've never been able to get past it. The game will hit this point, and then it'll do this thing where it just starts skipping cutscenes. I'm not hitting a button, and it just skips cutscenes. So I've never finished KOTOR 2. Now, Big Bang, I finished KOTOR 1. I have finished KOTOR 1. KOTOR 2, I've never found a playable version. As much as they keep selling it, I even bought the modern one off of Steam, and it still did the same shit. It still broke at the same point. Different computer, different setup, different release version of the game. What the fuck? Yeah, it's a common problem, but somehow some people have been able to get through it. I don't know how. I've tried the fixes they've tried. It's never worked. Because it's got a known memory leak built into the game, so you have to third-party fix it. Because apparently none of the re-releases have ever fixed it. How about try sacrificing small animals to George Lucas? We need a fucking sacrificial circle so I can finish KOTOR 2. But then again, they just re-released everything as a bundle, I think on multiple platforms. I might try the new one, because I think they just released it on PlayStation as well as part of an updated master bundle of LucasArts games packages. I might try it again on that front, because even though I have the Steam version, that still doesn't work for me. So I don't know. I know how it ends. I know the story. I've read the story because I could never play it myself, but I would love to just play it myself. But I've never been able to. Never been able to. Will I be playing Zero Company? I don't know, maybe. I wanted to play Outlaw, but I never had time. So it just all boils down to if I have time. If I have time. Like, I love the story of KOTOR from what I've read and what I've watched, because I've watched, like, the tale, but it just pisses me off that I've never been able to actually experience it myself. You know, that's the annoying part of it. But even so, that the Old Republic fucks that up too. Anyway, whatever. Guys, a little tirade there before we leave, but I'm gonna get some dinner. Everybody enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody. God, KOTOR 2.